watching it right now.
Hold on. I gotta fix my hair. Hold on. Okay.
All right, Tanya, you are live.
All right. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us on Talking Crap with Tania Estrada and my partner in crime, James Callaghan. You guys know him from Slaughter. Before Slaughter, he's our bass player. I'm the guitarist. And you also know him from the Felipe Esparza What's Up Fool podcast.
Oh, what's up?
Yes. Today, I am very excited to have the amazing, the legendary, the very full head of hair, UFC's very own, Frank Trigg. Frank.
What's up, Frank?
Hey guys, how are you?
Yeah, we're going right into it, man. We're going right into it. Frank Trigg is not only a UFC fighter, but he transitioned over to being a referee and then also is a Hollywood actor. He is a man of many talents. He doesn't put all his eggs in one basket. Very well-rounded man. So I'm very, very honored to have you here with us today so we can talk a little bit more about you. And yeah.
Thanks. That's probably one of the better interviews I've had. My mom calls me a Renaissance man because I can do everything. I kind of have interest in everything, but I'm not really good at anything. And that's kind of what a Renaissance man is.
That's what a Renaissance
what is that thing? A jack of all trades, a master of none? Is that what that is?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Hey, I got to ask, we allowed to drink on the show?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, this is no FCC.
Good, because I'm drinking.
Okay.
Good, because I'm drinking. Just want to make sure.
Good.
It's I want you to know how important this show means to me because tonight is our normal Monday night date night, and we started early so we could watch Greyhound on Apple TV with Tom Hanks, and just finished it at 7:30, so I could be done to get on here and log in. And literally, I kid you not, I watch every movie now because I want to see what stunt guys are on the show, and I want to see I watched the ending credits because I want to see if I know anybody, and if I don't know them, where they're from, and so I can kind of remember their name for a later date if I actually bump into them and go, hey, that was a great action scene on whatever movie. Oh, wow. And so I'm watching the credits and the power cuts off in my building. So I'm usually on my big desktop, and today I'm on my little ass iPhone trying to look at this thing.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah,
but of course, you know, it's so funny that almost happened to me right now because at the very end of the show, like the very last question of that show that I was doing, the Fox Soul TV, the Mike and Donnie show, they were on the last question and it completely cut out. Like my internet connection threw me off, but it also threw off their host. And it was just something really weird, but we came right back on to answer the final question. I was like, oh no, you're going to do me like that, Spectrum? Spectrum Wi-Fi blows. Oof. They blow. Do you have Spectrum?
I got the same Wi-Fi? One, except today's not Spectrum. No? Yeah, it's not Spectrum though today. Today's power outage. We actually have fire department here because I was telling James before he jumped on, we actually have somebody stuck in an elevator.
Right now?
It's funny to me. Yeah. It's funny to me. Have you ever been stuck in an elevator?
Yes, I have. I've been stuck in an elevator one time in my life at 2:30 in the morning. I was stuck in there for 45 minutes with no
3 hours.
How many?
3.
3 hours?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. In a Vegas hotel. Yeah, the Vegas hotel. They couldn't. Awesome. They were having problems. It was like all the elevators went down at one time, and so it was like a pick and choose. So they had to pick and choose which ones were getting out first, and mine is having to be last. So I had to sit there for 3 hours.
Oh, it sucks. I was in an elevator that fell.
Oh, that's way worse.
Way worse.
Way worse.
If it not only fell, but it went sideways and fell, and so everybody slid to the side of the elevator as it went down.
Man,
maybe about 3 floors.
What old ass building were you in?
I was at a veterans hospital.
Well, yeah,
at a VA hospital. Yeah.
There you go, government.
Yeah,
our government's finest.
Yeah.
So, hey, before we start with this thing, we're shut down again.
Yeah.
California's got closed again. Tanya, I know I see all your photos. So you wear a mask all the time. I know that because I see you. Yeah. James, are you a mask guy? Do you wear a mask when you go out?
If I'm out and I'm among people, yes. But if I go out for a run and I'm out in, out in the wilderness, I don't.
So I wear it whenever I'm in public.
Mhm.
But when I'm riding my bike or when I'm out walking, like you said, or walking my dog, I don't. They have a mandate right now. Our building, the moment you leave your door, you're supposed to have a mask on. In the hallways, in the common areas, you're supposed to have a mask on. And I'm like, look, I'm going out. I'm walking right out. There's no one ever on my floor. I go right down. I walk down the stairs. I go right out. I walk my dog. I walk back in. I never see anybody. So I just wear a mask. I'm kind of a rule breaker in that sense. But I'm very much a guy that wears a mask around public. My wife, Jill, when she goes to work, she has to wear a mask at work. It's mandatory with her company. So she wears one, and everyone that goes in has to wear one. And it's very simple. If you don't have a mask, we provide one for you. If you won't wear it or you keep pulling it down, we ask you to leave. It's super simple. And I go, okay, I get that. It makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I have about 50% of my friends are mask wearers, and 50% of my friends are like, this is all made up. I'm not wearing one. I'm like, well, you 50% that aren't wearing one is the reason why we're back in the stage. And they're like, no, it's just made up. It's not. He's just shutting it down because he wants to control us, and we're all sheep. And the next thing they're going to take away all of our gun rights, and then they're going to take away our abortion rights. I'm like, how did me wearing a mask or not wearing a mask become that politicized? It's just a damn mask. It's not that big of a deal. So one of my buddies, I'm a gun guy, just in case somebody's wondering. Yeah. I'm a guy that owns guns, but I'm not a Republican, so I'm a unicorn. So when you come to me and you're like, I'm like, a buddy of mine who's an extremely engaged Munster. He's an extremely talented makeup artist, FX artist in the Hollywood community. He is amazingly good. Like, have you seen any kind of like zombie picture or like Star Trek kind of stuff, like makeup stuff? Like he's more likely you've seen his work. This guy's amazing. Openly gay, and he talks about how like gay men went through this in the 80s. Like this is already something that they've gone through because of the AIDS epidemic. So now it's just coming around again. It's not that big a deal to follow rules and understanding shutdowns. But he makes an extremely good point. If you can't wear a mask, how can you carry a gun? I was like, oh yeah. You kind of make sense. If I can't wear a mask, then what the hell am I doing with a weapon? Like this doesn't make any sense. I'm like, okay, yeah. So just wear a damn mask. That's my whole point of that, is just wear a damn mask.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, wearing a mask right now is nothing. If this $600 a week doesn't get extended, by the time we get into September, masks are going to be the least of anybody's concern.
Mm-hmm.
I told Ty today, I'm trying to figure out how to make it through till October. Because we're not going back to work. Hollywood's not opening up until October. So we're all off. We're auditioning and we're sending our headshots in, and we're doing tapes, and we're still in our acting classes, and we're talking with our other buddies, and we're reaching out to like Frank Carrillo is a friend of mine, and John Tucker, and trying to figure out kind of how to step through some of this, to navigate through some of this stuff. But we're not going back to work till October. That is the reality. There's nothing else going to happen, and that's wild. What we have to do.
And today, LAUSD just announced they're not going to have any campuses open next month. School is supposed to start August 18th, and it's not.
Do you have kids, James?
I have a 4-year-old that was going to start an ETK program next month.
If they said you had to go, would you send your kid?
I am pretty sure that we already all had it back in March. So I think I'm a little braver than some. Okay. But it would still give me the heebie-jeebies. I to be honest with you, I don't know. That's a hard question to answer because our backup plan is very doable. So in a do or die situation, I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's interesting. I mean, this is the numbers don't lie. I mean, we're getting more. And they'll talk about, it's only 1% of the population or 0.5% of the population of deaths, and like they're running out all these numbers at us and trying to confuse us with all this stuff. But the reality of it is that you send your kids out there as a parent, you're sending them out there to get infected. You're not sending them out there to go get educated. You're sending them out there to get infected. That's what's going to happen. Is it like having the chicken pox? You get it for a couple of weeks and you get over it. Yeah. Are they going to get chicken pox anyway? Probably. Are they eventually going to get the flu anyway? Yeah, probably. But also kids, sometimes they have underlying things we don't know about, which can make them a lot more dangerous for them. It could be, there's just too many unknown factors. I'm very much along your kind of line. Like, the plan is they have to go to school in September or August, but I might not let them go. Let's see what happens. And our secondary plan will be homeschool or whatever we got to do. And that's just kind of the mindset that I have, at least. I mean, I don't know. I mean, other parents are thinking that way right now, but it's like, But also too, you get those kids. You're like, I've been with you already for 6 months. Go to fuck the school.
I know. Where's the free daycare? You know what's wild is she was in a like a daycare preschool with some older kids, and I got to tell you, man, every other week runny nose, every other week just like the fucking sniffles. She was a hot mess since March. Since everything got shut down, she's been the healthiest kid I've ever seen. So the idea of, the idea of go to school, it's a petri dish. That's a real thing. It's 100% a real thing. Like she's been so healthy since she's been home. And her daycare opened back up Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We're super lucky because it's right across the street and we're friends with, we're neighbors with the owners. And so we've been seeing them. So we're really comfortable, and that's our backup plan. But for a lot of parents out there, that send their kids to school, A, so they can work, B, so their kids can eat, C, so, the kids actually, have something to do during the day. Like, man, this is going to be intense.
Yeah. So you talk about you think you already had it. I was in China in November. I was in China in November in Shanghai. Came back in December, was as sick as I had ever been in my entire life. Like at the doctor's getting IVs put in, like the whole bit, like a full strain. I'm very anti-prescription drugs, so no Z-Paks, anything like that. So I had to go get like vitamin C and B12 and all that stuff put in the bag and dropping all the ringers in and all that. Then when COVID hit in March, I went and got tested in April. I was like, I 100% had it when I was in China. Like this is just what it is. Got tested. Nope. Negative. Never had it. Never been around it. Went in and got tested again. Like, nope. Never had it. Never been around it. I'm like, how is this possible? Like I 100% know that I had it. Then I find out like a month after that. So we're talking like May, like right around our birthday in the middle of May. And they're like, just so you know, those tests back then were only 30% accurate. So you could have totally had it and just don't know you had it. You got to get tested again. I'm like, gee. So I was doing the finger prick to see if I'd been around or ever had it. And that came up negative both times. So now I have to go in and get swabbed on my throat and see if that thing is, if I didn't indeed have it. Because I believe what's going to happen is that if you have had it and you get tested and it shows that you have had it, that you are now part of the herd, you can go back to work earlier. Where everybody else has to kind of sit out until they find a vaccine or you get it. And I kind of think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be like one of those deals like there's going to be two group of human beings on the planet. Those that have had it and those down are testing negative, and they're going to be in the group until they get finally test positive, and they're going to be sent home for 2 weeks and then be able to come back to work after that. Where the rest of us that have already had it can stay at work and be functional and pay our taxes and help out the government. That's kind of what's going to happen.
Yeah. We went to Disneyland the week before everything got locked down, and we were just, all three of us were just as sick as we've ever been that following week. So, I laid in a bed for 3 days and just shivered. I was like, what is going on? I couldn't.
And you haven't been tested?
I've been tested twice, and both times it came back negative. I got the super quick spit test that says, are you sick right now? Negative. And so then I went and got the finger prick test, and that one came back negative. And they were telling me the results. I was like, no, come on. No,
there's no way.
There's no way. Like I kind of run along the same lines. I don't do a whole lot of, prescription drugs. I don't touch Advil. I'm very, very anti pill. And when I was sick, I toughed it out. Well, I didn't tough it out. I ate some shrooms and I lied down in my bed. I was like, okay, I'm going to go somewhere else for a little bit and just work through this. Right. I took a bunch of niacin, and my whole system was just charging. Like I said, laid in bed for 3 days, shivering. And it took me a couple weeks to finally rebound, but I've never been in a place where I just had zero energy. I did not want to pick my feet up off the ground. I was dragging ass. My wife slept on the couch for a week. And when I asked her about it later, I said, hey, you remember you were really sick? And she goes, I don't remember anything. She goes, I think I just blacked out the whole week. I was like, oh shit.
So who's watching your daughter?
She's
spending
super
for herself.
We raised a very independent young woman.
She's driving to the store, picking up food from mom and dad. Miss, what are you doing? It's okay. I'm just getting stuff for daddy. It's fine. Just leave me alone.
She knows how to put granola in a yogurt. She's good.
Wow. Yeah, that's tough. That's rough.
But I'm gonna go back and get tested again. And you know what the crazy thing is? Ever since then, I haven't been 100% in my lung capacity. So I like to run. And when the parks opened up, I started running again. And I feel like I'm like at 80%. I'm just always just struggling for that like last 20%. And I've always had just really, really good lungs. So something is in there hanging out. You know, I can't think of what else it would be.
You got a parasite.
Yeah.
You got a parasite in your lungs. That's all. It's fine. It's fine.
But Tania, you've been locked down. You haven't come near anybody.
I haven't come near anybody,
Yeah.
Anybody that possibly might even have it, being any close to having it. No one that I know of. The people that I have been around, like Paula, you know, and her mom, you know, they've been locked down in the house. I stayed in the house for a long time before I even came out. And the little bits of time that I have come out, it's been to help with Project Hope, you know, to do the groceries. The movie that I did on Saturday, that was, you know, and I was pretty much running the whole time. I wasn't really near anyone. You know, and I brought my own food, didn't have to worry about craft services. So I'm feeling pretty safe. You know, this is definitely not a time for dating, not a time for, you know, trying out any new dick. So
there's I mean, think about it right now. Can you imagine being single right now and trying to, I mean, Tanya, you obviously can imagine because you're in the middle of it, but you can't meet anybody anymore. No. Like there's no going to the bar and finding some cute guy or being at work and seeing some cute guy and like, oh, let me talk to him for a minute. Oh, we vibe pretty well. Okay, let me call him and do that whole courtship thing. Like now it's all apps. Like all the dating apps are blowing up right now.
Yeah,
because the only way you can meet anybody is being on a dating app.
Yeah, but that's just such a waste of time. You know, you're talking to someone, getting to know them, and it's just like, you know, and you go through this whole rigmarole. And you don't even really find out what size their dick is ever.
You don't ask?
It's just, I don't ask. No, we're supposed to, you know, do it organically. And I'm just not about wasting.
What? You don't, hold on. You don't ask right away, but hey, look, I'm a size queen. I got to know if you're not over 8 inches, don't bother me. Like you don't have that conversation with them right away.
I try to act like a lady. You know, I'm trying to act like a lady. So as a lady, I can't be like, look, bro, I know that you probably heard a lot about dick pics not being like the thing. It's a thing for me, you know, send it to me, you know, on a vintage filter, whatever you want, you know, throw a vignette around it, you know, give me.
You want to be a lady. You want to be a lady. Use centimeters then. Use centimeters then. It's totally like,
look, if I want to be a lady, let's talk circumference, okay?
Yes.
Let me see if I got me a smart dude in the work. So if he asks what circumference, the conversation's over.
Nice. Perfect. I like it. I like your attitude.
Yeah, so it's not definitely not a time to date, you know.
Excuse me, sorry.
Bless you. Corona.
Yep, got it. So,
got it.
See, this is the worst time. Like this is the worst time in my life to have hay fever because I have a mask on to be at the grocery store, and all of a sudden sneeze. Even with the mask on, I still cover my mouth, and people are like, "Oh, what the hell? What the hell?" They walk away from me. I'm like, "Dude, like it's just hay fever. Relax. It's not that big of a deal."
I had to go re-up on my Flonase, as a matter of fact. You see these flowers right here? That I love getting myself flowers. And I realized that I was sneezing like fucking crazy. And I was like, oh, I can't do this. This is like, I'm sneezing all day, all night. And I finally got me this, and it's just killer. Look, this is actually a good example. Like if you're at least this size, you know, call me. I'm just kidding. That's like barely enough.
That's like 6 inches. What the fuck are you talking about? I was like, what are you talking about? It's like a 6 inches.
It looks 6 inches. Objects closer to the lens are larger than they appear.
Tanya likes her dick to come with a side of geometry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this lighting. This.
I do.
See, I have a whole full built up studio. Like I'm in my studio and I have lights behind my computer and this whole bit. We got more and more screens. It's getting dark. It's driving me nuts. So I'm trying to find a way to light myself. Is that bad? I'm trying to. I'm getting so sophisticated now. I got to be able to
light yourself
actually
up.
See what's going on. This is the worst.
Are you just going to turn the iPad onto a white screen?
I hate this stuff.
Hey, but you're doing it though.
We have so we like the camp. We're outdoor people, kind of.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of camping type utensils. So we have this generated flashlight that we use. That's hand cranked to recharge it, and I'm charging it back up again. So I can use it. It's a flashlight with it's one of those camping lights. A flashlight at one end, a hazard light at the other end, and then a blinking light, blinking red light and all that stuff. But it's also got like an ambient light on it. So we it's amazing how much crap you have when you do outdoor stuff that doesn't ever relate to anything else.
We should actually tell the viewers what's going on. We've got a nice little hefty amount of viewers. If you guys are just joining us, you're watching Talking Crap with Tania Estrada and James Callaghan. Tonight we have UFC's Frank Trigg with us. And Frank Trigg is all the way in Marina Del Rey and his power went out. So the light has gone out. He's trying to use whatever he can to stay on with us while we talk. So thank you so much, Frank. You're always such a trooper. And, you're the innovative ways that you're coming up to stay lit. I appreciate that. I want to say,
so stupid.
No, it works. It works, dude. It totally works. I want to say hi to Luis Fernandez. Luis Fernandez is watching with us. Mike Snyder, Scott Shimamoto in the house, Amancha Kashal, Stefan GM Ford, Brenda Clarkson, Cal Blending, the Spice Lord is online with us.
Spice Lord.
Xavier Carrizales, aka Harvey, Mike Snyder, Sean Reagan, and firefighter Nick Rivera. What's up, bro? What's up? Thank you guys all so much for watching. So yes, so Frank, you've always been such an innovator of not just doing one thing and putting all your eggs in one basket. As being a UFC fighter, which is one of the most, I think when guys have a hero thing that they want to do, it's like, I want to fight in UFC. You can say that you did that, but you didn't just do that. You transitioned over to a referee. It's
what? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's fighting is what 95% of the men in the world want to do, what 3% of the men in the world can do, and 1% of them. We're wired as males to let me fight, let me be machismo and show that I'm the best guy out there and all that kind of crap. And the reality of it is man, it's still a sport. There's still a lot of ups and downs. There's still things that go on. It's much easier to fight than it is to play football. It's much easier to fight than it is to play basketball. It's not. It's a sport. It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same mentalities. All the guys right now are 6, 7, 8 years old. They're trying to be professional fighters. Maybe 2 or 3% of them will actually make it. They're gonna move on to other stuff. They want to do that, do it very well. Well, of the 100% of the guys that actually get in the group, that 3% now becomes 100%. Those guys that get into it, how many of them actually do it well? Very few. Very few actually fight well. Some guys will fight around and do a couple of different things, but not really that much. You're not going to have that many guys being able to fight and actually put stuff together the way that you think they are. And then really you get down to it. 1% of the real can actually do this thing, because it takes so much work to make it work in a way that is viable for everybody. That you're like, okay, I can do this and actually make a living and provide for my family. Like this is, it's very, you barely survive. You know, when I first started fighting, I still owe $2,500. So my last fight, I never retired. I just walked away. I just didn't take any more fights. I still owe $2,500 to my tournament. I still had to pay them. So I spent all the money I got on the fight and had to go work, $200 to pay them off. So I walked away and made less money than what I actually earned. And that's just the way it was, because there was no money at the time. Now, guys, you know, I look at because as a ref, I see the payouts, you know, because the commission gets the payout numbers. So I see the sheet that says how much each guy gets paid, and if they win, what they get. So there's 2 checks written for each fighter. They show up money and there's win bonus. We're talking about the UFC. They have 2 checks, and if they get the win bonus, they get the second check. Money I made in my second title fight against Matt Hughes, I would be for the same price I'm on the early portion of the preliminary card that fighter. If that's how much the game has changed. Now these guys at the top end are making, these guys shoot in winning 3 times in 1 year. Fight 1 loss. Like it's just the numbers are just different. It's a different sport. It's a different game now. Like everything has changed.
Well, now they're paying a lot more, right? Since it got sanctioned, they're paying a lot more. And as it's gone on and it's grown, the money in the pot is a lot bigger. When I met you, it was before MMA had gotten sanctioned here in California. That's when they were still lobbying. Remember that? When you guys would train here and have to go fight elsewhere?
That was like, yeah, we were living, that was 2000. We were living in LA, but I was having to go to Georgia to fight. I was going to fly to Georgia and like Colorado and Texas to go fight. It was crazy, you know, and then in California, they're sure they were regulated, that they weren't regulated, you know. So the one thing you got to say is that I don't care how you feel about Dana White, but him and the Fertitta brothers bought a sport that was illegal in 48 states. And before they sold it, and the Fertitta sold their portion and walked away, they legalized it in the entire world except for like 4 countries. That's what we're talking about. They took a sport that was illegal and made it legal in 4 countries, or everywhere in the world but 4 countries, by just dragging the sport across. And that's just what they did. It's a pretty big feat if you think about it, because there's nowhere else that can actually do that. Take something that's illegal and make it legal and then push it to the rest of the world. Like that's what they did. And hats off to them, because now it's a sport that, like this week, the first year I fought for them was UFC 45. There was 8 fights in a year. They're about to have 3 fights in 8 days. I'm like, there were fights last Saturday, a fight on Wednesday, another fight on Saturday. Like, where the hell is the sport came? And don't ask me if I thought it was going to be this big. Nobody thought it was going to be this big. No, I don't care who you talk to. Dana wanted it to be this big. The Fertittas wanted to be this big, but nobody actually thought it was going to get this big. Nobody really thought it was actually going to happen. If they tell you they did, they're liars. No one knew it was going to be this juggernaut of what it is right now. MMA had taken over the planet.
No, that's when I met you, was at the Raw UFC gym in El Segundo. Remember George Hamill? That was my ex-boyfriend, aka Scammell.
No, Scammell.
Scammell was he was lobbying like for 5 years. He was lobbying to get MMA sanctioned, and he believed in this so much. And you know, it's so sad that he passed away. And to see it finally get sanctioned, I was just like, this is for you, Georgie. You work so hard. You know, you work so hard.
Isn't that how it goes, though? Like Martin Luther King never saw the civil rights movement actually come to fruition. He just fought for it. Malcolm X never saw the civil rights movement come to fruition. He just fought for it. You know, it's like you look at the people that actually start and pave the way and kind of put these things together. They never get to enjoy it. They just pave the way for it, and they use it in passing before it ever comes to fruition.
Yeah. That's so crazy. So I was the girlfriend of the guy who was trying to get MMA sanctioned 20 years ago. That's a trip. So that's how I know Frank. And I know a lot of the other fighters because I would come into the gym and he was like, this is what I'm trying to do. And, you know, I'd see all these guys and I'm like, God, I'd love to fuck them. Like, they're fucking hot. But, you know, I just kept my mouth shut. You know, I said nothing else. So I was like, they're hot. But it's just so nice to see that this has all evolved into such a huge sport. But you know, you can only fight for so long because it takes such a toll on your body and all those hits and all that training. And you did the smartest thing, which was transition out of fighting into refereeing. But it's not like you can just go referee. You have to go through a whole training program, a whole school. It's like referee college. Hello?
Oh.
Did we lose him?
You there, Frank?
Yeah, it wasn't like let's make it power back. No, I'm here. I'm here. You cannot hear me? I'm here. I can hear you.
It's cutting in and out like a little and
Not here, it's
audio. Not. No, you're good. You can hear us.
It's because the power's trying to come back on.
Is it? Come on, power. Come on.
That's power. Right. My
Yay!
Sorry about that. My internet jumped in the way.
Okay. Yay! The power's
on. My internet got in the way.
Cool. Plug it all up.
The internet was trying to log in and shut you guys off.
Okay. Plug it in. Plug it in. Plug in your phone. Plug in your stuff.
You talking about a vibrator? Or are you talking about over here? Plug it all in.
Plug it. I was talking about circumference again. Plug it in. Plug it in. Plug it in. Plug it in.
There you go. That's much better.
Cool. So we got Manny Martinez who's joined us watching, Mari Rams in the house, Rodrigo Vargas Jr., Chris Polster Kelly all the way from Las Salinas. Hey, it's my gay boyfriend who's watching all the way from Las Salinas.
Hey.
Why is it that every girl has a gay boyfriend?
Because they're the best. The gay boyfriends are the best.
I never understood that. Like every girl has like a gay boyfriend.
It's cool to have a gay boyfriend because they're not trying to fuck you. You can actually talk ideas over with them without their dick getting hard over you. And it just makes the conversation just much more, even keel. and they're usually, and you can talk just different things that you don't talk with a heterosexual guy, because a heterosexual guy be like, oh yeah, really? Huh? Okay. Want to fuck? Like, and a gay boyfriend doesn't do that.
Okay. All right. I got you.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
It goes the other way too. I've got a lesbian friend. We're super tight.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you still want to fuck her.
Oh no!
No.
Oh no! Okay.
No.
Hey Frank, check your audio. It's clipping.
Is it still?
Yeah, it's clipping. Maybe take off the audio and just talk into it, just regular. Do you have like a thing on, like a Bluetooth?
Yeah, I have a headset on. Yeah. Well, if I talk to it regular, I'm about to talk to you against my ear.
Yeah. Oh, it won't go on without the audio. Maybe the headphones are dying out.
No, I just charge them. I had them charged up before.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
It could be anything at this point. I don't trust anything.
Yeah. See, testes, 1, 2, 3.
I got two. I got two of them. I'm not Lance Armstrong.
It sounds better than it was.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I messed it a little bit. I don't know if that's actually gonna work, but we'll see.
All right.
There we go.
Let's see.
All right. Is that better?
That does sound better.
That sounds better.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm actually loading up my computer, so if it happens, I can actually back out of this and just re-sign it on my computer, which has got my full format. And that's the best one. But give it a minute first.
Yeah.
Give it a minute. Let's let it get loaded up first, because it'll take about, I don't know, 3-4 minutes for my computer to load up, because it's a big monstrosity of a thing.
Okay, for it to do its thing.
You know, I got a big. What are those things called?
Circumference. What?
I have a big circumference. I have a big MacBook Pro. It's like a huge freaking one of the big ones with the extra tower, and so it takes forever to load up because of the size of it. You know, it's like why does it take so long for it to? It's like, geez, it just can't get enough blood to it.
I'm sorry, Frank. I just hear dick terminology. Sorry, Jill. I just hear dick. That's all that's coming in my ear. That's all that's coming in my ear.
Coming in your ear? Nice. That was nice. Good job on that one.
Thank you. I aim to please.
and we aim not to hit you in the eye. Okay.
Yes. All right. You sound great. It all sounds good. It sounds great. Well, so we were talking about referee school. How you went into
so I went in, and it's funny. It's a funny story. I was on Kevin and Bean, maybe, or Heidi, Frosty, and Frank, like one of those shows, talking about how the fight game is kind of screwed up because as someone's gonna get hurt, the refs aren't very good, and they kind of suck, and the judging sucks, and I was just bad mouthing all the officials, and then John McCarthy was listening. And he's like, hey, you think it's so easy? Why don't you come take my course? I'm like, dude, man, I just stopped fighting. There's nothing. I'm going to pass this course easy. Like, I know what I'm talking about. So if you go and talk to Tom Brady and you ask him what the line judge is looking for or what the back umpire is looking for, he has no idea. He has absolutely no clue. All he knows is I have to take 4 steps back, 1 step to the right, and I got 3 targets. I got to hit one of them, and that's all I know. And that's it. That's all I know. So like football, baseball, basketball, hockey, you talk to anybody, they don't really know the real rules of the game. They know their position. They know their space. That's what's important. That's all they know. You know, that's really what it's all about. Where most folks in MMA think they know the rules because they've seen the rules, they understand what's going on. And even today, I still hear corners talking like this last weekend. I heard corners yelling instructions during the fight that are completely incorrect. Not because they're technically incorrect for their fighter, because the information they're relaying them is not the rule. It's like I got an argument, not an argument. I got a discussion today on Facebook with somebody talking about the Max Holloway fight. One of the rounds was a 10-10, and then he was told by a judge, you can't have a 10-10 round. And I was like, well, tell that judge he's going back to school. He's completely incorrect because you absolutely can have a 10-10 round. So the judge tells you can't have a 10-10 round. He's full of it. He has no idea what he's talking about. He's back to school. And I gave him the link to go to John McCarthy's command school because you absolutely can have a 10-10. And then I sent them the direct cut and paste copy from the ABC rules, and ABC, the American Boxing Council, controls MMA. They make the rules for MMA. And in the rules, it actually gives you the quotation of what a 10-10 round is and how you score it. And the reason why it's scored a 10-10. I mean, it's right here. Like, how can you say you can't have a 10-10? If the judge tells you that, then all of a sudden now he's backtracking. Well, what he said is, the commission said, we can't have a 10-10. We got to make a decision as to who the fighter is. We have to make a decision, what's going on. I'm like, dude, that's a totally different conversation. You should have led with that and said, throw me underneath the bus. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're sitting there making me look bad on my own thread. So it's a big issue right now. No one really knows the rules and regs. With that being said, when I went to John McCarthy's class, I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm going to crush this thing. I failed miserably.
Oh, no.
I knew nothing about the rules. I had no stinking clue what was going on. I walked in there like, whatever, brother. I got this. It's going to be easy. Nope. Wah, wah, wah. Failed. Failed so bad, I got mad. I was like, I'm going to take this shit again. I waited a year, went back and took it again. I'm like, I'm going to crush this. I'm going to crush it. I studied. I know what I'm talking about. I'm watching fights. I'm in. I know what I'm doing. Failed again. Failed twice. Failed his class twice. I had to take 6 weeks of privates from him to learn how to actually ref and judge a fight. I had no idea what was going on.
That's the John McCarthy racket.
Yeah, right. He makes you take it twice. You have to pay twice.
Now, was it pass or fail, or did you land somewhere like a 70% or a 60%?
Pass or fail.
Wow. Okay.
But only like 20% of the people that ever take the course actually ever pass. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a super difficult course. It is. In my load, in my first class, there's only maybe I think there's 12 people in the first class, 2 people passed. The second time I took it, There was maybe 22. I think only 2 people passed that one too. Like only 2 people passed basically per class. That's it. It's just so stinking hard. It's damn near impossible.
Wow.
So yeah, I know, it's crazy. So I went on and I took 6 weeks of privates. Had to do 2 amateur fights, promotions, to show them I knew what I was talking about, and then passed the course. And that's how I got into reffing. And then I had to go do 100 amateur bouts. After that, I had to go do 100 amateur bouts before I'm allowed to apply for my pro license. Doesn't mean they're gonna give it to you. Just means you can apply for it. I applied for my license. I was super surprised. I got it right away. Paid my fee because it costs. You have to pay a fee to be a licensed referee. You have to pay that. It's $275 for the year. I paid it, and then didn't get an assignment until November 12th, and I had passed the course and applied October 19th, the year before.
Oh, a year and a month to the day.
So I get my first assignment a month after my license expires.
Oh.
And then I have to pay again before I can rep. So I got my license, didn't get a pro assignment for a year, even though I had paid for it, and then had to take it, and then had to go pay again and to get another one in. They thought, Andy Foster, executive officer for California, thought I was only doing it as a gimmick just to say that, hey, I could do it, and I'm a pro referee. He didn't realize I actually was trying to rep. So I never had the guts to go just call him, hey, like, how come I'm not getting assignments? I never said anything. Now I talk to him like twice a week. I'm like, wow. What about this thing? I talked to him Saturday night right after the fight was over. I'm like, did you see this fight? What do you think happened? Like, he's like, dude, I was only going to ruin my kids. I wasn't paying attention. I'll call you tomorrow when I'm looking at it on Sunday. I'm like, okay. And then we talked on Sunday. It was like, okay, this is what I thought. This is what we went right. This went wrong. This is what we should fix. This is how we should approach it. This is how we get better. And then, we pass that information on to, or he passes that information on to all the other refs and judges that are licensed in California to let them know this is how we would handle the same situation to make it better, or to go, hey, that referee that handled it was so good, we want to mimic that. This is what we should do. And we learn. Even though we're not working the fights, we still learn. That's the process. It is a long, arduous, expensive process. I got 100 bouts. Most people, it takes them 3 years to get 100 bouts in at the amateur level. I did mine in 10 months. Jill and I were driving we live in Vegas at the time. I would do an amateur bout on Friday, drive to Vegas, or from Vegas, drive to Southern California someplace, do an amateur bout on Saturday, drive back that night, go to sleep, wake up, do another amateur bout on Sunday in California or in Nevada. Or sometimes I would do a Friday California event, a Saturday Nevada event, a Sunday California event, and have to drive back to Nevada on Sunday night after the fight was over. Now, mind you, when you're reffing at the amateur level, you get mileage plus $100.
Oh.
That's it. But the mileage is only from a place that's in California. So I had to give them an LA address for them to mark my mileage, because a lot of these guys aren't going to pay, $300 for your mileage for one referee, because I'm coming in from Nevada to California. They're going to give you the $100 and maybe $26, and that's it. I'm like, dude, this is incredible. Like, this is, but so people talk about more fighters should do this, more ex-fighters should come into judging and reffing. Makes no sense.
Yeah. Wow.
Take Chuck Liddell. I'm sorry, hold on.
Go for it.
I apologize. Take Chuck Liddell, just because he's a name that's in my head. Let's say that he decides he wants to ref. He then has to do 100 bouts, in whatever, 10 months, 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, and get $100 a night. Now, each night he might do 5 or 6 bouts, because on these amateur cards, there's like 20 bouts, 25 bouts sometimes. It's a lot more fights, but you get a lot more reps, but they're also shorter fights. They're only 3-minute rounds versus 5-minute rounds, and things happen very quickly. Like a lot of them are finishes because they're at the amateur level. So then you go and you're like, I used to make $250,000 every time I stepped inside of a cage. And I'd be here, I'd come in, I'd warm up, I'd fight, I'd go home. Now I have to be here from 5 o'clock until midnight to make $100. That makes no sense. Why would I do that? So a lot of these guys are like, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to back away. Then once you get to the pro level, you don't get put right to the UFC as soon as you're at the pro level. you start at the minor leagues. You start at the bottom, and not only do you start at the minor leagues, but you don't even get the main event at the minor leagues. You are now at the bottom of the minor leagues. You're doing the first early fights because you don't have the reps yet. You don't have the experience. So it takes a very long time. Usually it takes guys. I'm the anomaly because I have such a passion for this. I work so hard at it. I'm doing 2-3 times a week. I'm working on roughing mechanics, understanding the rules, and there's slight rule changes that happen every week. Every fight, something gets adjusted, gets changed. And I'm like, I got to do this. For me to do this, I have to really pay attention to it. So I got in a little bit quicker than most. But it usually takes 15, 20 years before you're in the big show. That's what it is. So think about this. You're making $450, $550. You might make $600 in one night doing a big show. It's got a TV deal like an LFA. They got a fight on Saturday up in Dakota. They might give you like $600 if they're in California, but that's it. That's the most you're going to make and have to do 5, not per bout. It's not $600 per bout. It's $600 for the night. That's what you get.
Wow.
All fights. You're like, and I got to ref 5 times or 4 times, 3 times. You're like, dude, this doesn't make any sense. So when I work for the UFC, I make about $1,200 depending on where I am on the card. You know, if you're on the prelims, the pre-prelims, you make a little bit less. If you're in the prelims, you make a little bit more, and then you make the most if you're on the main card. But the guy that makes the most is the guy that has the title fight that's on pay-per-view as the main event. Those guys get the most amount of, those refs get paid the most amount of money because it's the biggest fights. But you're still only talking like $1,500 for the night. You're like, dude, it's crazy. And you got a McGregor. So you got a McGregor fighting a Khabib, right? I'm getting $1,500. Yeah. Those guys, this guy just made $12 million. Like I'm getting $1,500. Yeah. You gotta love the sport, man. You gotta love it. This is not a passion. This is not a project where you're gonna get rich. This is a passion project by far.
Wow. Is Frank Trigg, the referee, more understanding of a fight being stopped than Frank Trigg, the fighter, was?
Absolutely. Yeah. When Josh Rosenthal stopped my fight against the Matt Serra, I was gonna kill him. I literally got off the canvas. I was going to grab him by his throat and rip his face off. Like, I was so mad at him. What are you talking about? I was not knocked out. He hit me. I hit the ground. I bounced right back up again. I remember that. I was so mad at him. I was like, I told him, I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to fucking kill you. Do not show up in the parking lot. You're dead. You're a dead man. I'm going to fucking kill you. Then I look up and I see the Jumbotron. I'm like, oh, hey. Good stoppage. Thanks for doing that. Oops. So I'm way more understanding now. I'm like, oh yeah, like we're not all there. Like sometimes when your head gets hit, you think you're there, but you're not. To me, it was a flash knockout, but it was a knockout. I took 2 more punches. Then I bounced up, and when I bounced up, I was like, yes, in my head. But in reality, I was like, my head was wobbling. I was like a bobblehead. I couldn't. My feet went underneath me. My hands weren't working with my hand. I was talking with my hands, but they were doing different things than what I was saying. Yeah. I was like, it was really real. Like, okay, yeah, you saved my life. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I have a way different understanding. Like, so like that fight this weekend with Aldo and Jan, and it was like 113 unanswered punches. And I'm looking at I'm like, okay, this fight's done. He needs to go ahead and stop it. Like, just, because Aldo's got his hands around his ears and he's face down on the canvas. He's got his elbows tucked into his body. And he's taking punches. Now, none of the punches are hitting him. They're landing on his hand. He's not taking that much damage. He's getting hit in the gloves. It's not that big of a deal. But he's not fighting back. He's not moving. He's just laying there. And optically, it's 113 unanswered blows. It looks horrible. But the reality of it is, it's not that much damage. The right guy won the fight. There was the guy that lost the fight didn't take so much damage. He's not going to be able. His career is going to be shortened, right? He's still going to have a long career. Well, always been around for a long time. He hasn't much of a career left because he's been around for so long. But guys normally in that position, like your career wasn't shortened by 5 years because you took so much head trauma, and the right people that were supposed to be Invictus are Invictus. So like there really wasn't that much of an issue, but optically, it looks bad. So Leon is taking a lot of heat right now because of that position where every referee has been in that spot. It's a tough call. You're trying to give a guy like Jose Aldo, excuse me, guys, the ability to be able to come back and fight because he's a tough guy. He can come back and fight. In that position, he's not, and you're looking at him, and the ref is standing there. He's not taking damage. You're like, let's just let this guy go. He's not taking damage. He's kind of responding. I need you to move a little bit. He moves a little bit. Show me you still want to be in the shoot. Moves a little bit. And then he just lays there. You're like, okay, this guy's got nothing left. And then all of a sudden the punches start adding up. So optically, it looks bad, but there really wasn't that much damage to Jose. He's fine. He's no worse for wear. I mean, he still was in a fight. He's not fine. He's still in a fight. It's still damaging to your body. But Leon's taking a bad hit, and you got to understand as a referee, man, that the thing that a referee has, we have less than 1/100th of a second to make a decision. And once we make that decision, we have to stick to it. We cannot change our mind. We have stuck to it. This is what's going to happen. Then everybody at home has a chance to listen to the commentators. They have a chance to see the replay 17 times. They have a chance to listen to the promoter. They have a chance to listen to everybody else. Their wife sitting next to them, their brother sitting next to them, their family in there, their friends are in there. Everyone's giving their opinions, and they get to form their own opinion. Well, you've had 15 minutes to make your opinion on the reaction that I had 1/100th of a second to make my decision, and I got to stick to it. So we get beat up a lot. I mean, and that's the reality of it. Like, you got to be thick-skinned. There's a lot of. I'm not gonna lie to you, and this is gonna be bad. There's gonna be a lot of people and I'm gonna get. I guarantee you, there's people right now that the moment I say this, my phone is gonna start blowing up for me saying this. But there's a bunch of fucking pussies that are referees. They cannot handle the heat. They cannot. They get told how to fix their protocols, get told how to fix their mechanics, and they attack you back like you're an asshole. They're like, no. I'm just trying to help you out of your dickhole. You're trying to teach me like a scumbag, but you're the one that fucked up. I'm just trying to help you out. All of a sudden, I'm the bad guy because, you know what, you can't talk to me like that. Man, I've been doing this for 35 years. What do you know? Well, I know that you fucked up. That's what I know. And what I'm telling you is how to fix your mistake and how to move forward. But you want to attack me. Now we gotta play a game. You attack me, I get to attack you. But guess what? Who actually did this for real? Which one of us did this for real? So who do you think is going to snap first? I'm going to snap first. Don't keep yelling at me. Don't consider back talk me. I'm just telling you how to fix yourself. So there's a lot of refs right now, and the best refs that are out there, your Goddards, your Deans, your Herzogs, your Beltrans. The reason why they're so good, because they have super thick skin and they take constructive criticism and they understand when they screw up and they're not scared to go, my bad. That was on me. That's 100% my fault. I screwed that up. And guess what? Moving forward, I'm going to be better for it. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get better. And then the next fight that same night, they have to get put back in the exact same situation and they're better for it. And they're like, oh yeah, he learned from 20 minutes ago. He figured out how to fix this. And that's what they do. But a lot of referees out there right now, they're trying to be on TV. They're trying to be seen. I want to be seen. Look at me. I'm in the title fight and I get to raise the hand. They want to be seen. And that's not, I'm from the Mark Ratner level of refereeing. Mark Ratner used to be the executive officer for Nevada. When UFC first came back and started getting back in Nevada, Mark Ratner was the head of it. He stepped away and got hired by the UFC, and he runs all their commissions. Whenever they go to a foreign country, there's no commission. He helps set up the commission and get them started. I'm from his school of refereeing, which is the refs are not part of the show. The best compliment I can ever get is when a fighter goes, hey, do you remember that fight when I won the title and it was in this small organization in this small place in California and blah, blah, blah. And did you ever see that fight? Did you ever see that fight? Yeah, I've seen that fight. Why? Well, what do you think could have happened with a bubble? You know I was your ref, right? Oh, you're the ref. Oh, dude, I had no idea. I did my job. You forgot I was even in there. That's the way it should be. You shouldn't know the umps are there. You shouldn't know the refs are there. You shouldn't know anybody is there. The only reason we're there is for fighter safety. Unless you commit a foul or you're hurting your opponent so bad we have to step in and stop the fight, you didn't even see us. We shouldn't even be there. Like, keep us out of the way. And my wife, Jill, actually yelled at me today because we're looking at the referee of the year voting is right now. And I made a post about I put a post about all the refs that are up for voting and go ahead and go vote. So I put it out on my Instagram feed or my Instagram post maybe 2 hours ago, whatever. And she's like, you got to stand there a little bit longer when you raise your hand. You got to stop running away as soon as you put their hand up. I go, yeah, but it's not about me. It's about the fighter. He won. I'm just standing there holding his arm up. He doesn't need me to hold his arm up. I just did it because I have to, because that's our protocol. And I just walk around and get out of there. He goes, no, but you kind of want to be in the pictures. Look at the video that they put out. What do you think happened when these other refs stand there? I'm like, oh, yeah, like, you're right. They get seen more. People understand them more. they see that they're there. Like you understand that ref was actually in that fight, whether he did anything or not. But you know that ref was in the fight. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. I need to stand there for a second longer. I'm very much like, hey, good job, and I freaking bolt out. Like I don't want anything to do. I don't want to be seen. I don't want any photos. I want to be left alone. I want to be out of it. I'm not part of the show. The fighters of the show. Leave me alone. But she's like, you kind of got to stand up for a second longer, just because you got to give that guy a sense of, hey, look, this is a great fight. I'm holding your arm up because you won. Let's stand there and get a couple photos together, and so everybody understands that you are winning, and not just some random dude that looks sweaty inside of a cage. It's actually a referee has your arm up that shows that you're victorious. That's the message we have to put out there. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I got to fix that. So that's one of the things I have to fix.
I like that. That's a good,
uncomfortable.
Good point. That's a
I
good
hate
point.
doing that stuff.
But you got to do it like for the camera flash, dude, for the gram. You got to do it for the gram. You know
okay, listen, guys, I got my phone. I got my computer set up.
Yeah.
Let me switch from my phone to my computer.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we'll see you back over here.
I'm going to punch it in right now.
Over here. Okay, cool. All right. And then meanwhile, you know what? Oh, we've got comments. I'll read. Scott Shimamoto in the house also acting as tech support. Scott Shimamoto. Scott Shimamoto is a high school referee. And what he had to say earlier, Scott Shimamoto said, people who don't, and Scott Shimamoto is a comedian that I work with, and he's watching on Facebook with us, and it says, people who don't referee a sport don't understand the rules. I used to referee high school basketball, and people don't know. Even if they know the rules, they don't know how to enforce the rules properly. And then he had this to say about you. Frank is great at what he does because of his personal confidence and willingness to get better. Insecure people don't want to be questioned, so they never get better. Taking constructive criticism is the key to getting better at everything in life. Brilliant words, Frank.
100%.
Woo! Look at that.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you, Scott. That's the money shot right there.
So Frank, you kind of touched on this element of like human error, right? In when somebody in that ref position makes a bad call, maybe makes a call too early. How does that play into your opinion of a win bonus? Because there's so much human error that can go into impacting a win bonus.
I don't like win bonuses at all. I think they're antiquated, outdated, and should not be used. And I understand what the UFC was doing in the very beginning, trying to remember the Fertittas bought the UFC for $2 million. They then invested, the rumors abound, from $10 million to $20 million to put the Tough show, the Ultimate Fighter show together and put it on Spike TV back then, which is now Paramount, obviously. And then we all saw the Stephan Bonner Forrest Griffin fight, right? And that became the big catalyst for everybody to want to watch MMA. Well, I understand how that comes to fruition. And back then, you're trying to make your money. You don't want to give these guys big purses if you can cut the cost down because you're trying to make your money back. So you promise 100,000 if you win, but if you don't win, you get 50,000. Or you promise 10,000 if you don't win, you only get 5,000. Mm-hmm. Got you. Totally understand it. It's a $1 billion company. There should be no more win bonuses. It should be I get paid what I get paid. I signed for 50,000. I get paid 50,000. Win, lose, or draw. If I lose, then in my contract there's a tearing down effect. You lost your last fight. You go back down to 45. You go back down to 40. If I win, I move up to 55. I move up to 60. And that's how the tiering goes. It just keeps going. So if you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. It just kind of just keeps flipping around. That's just how it works. But boxing is like that. MMA is not. And MMA, no matter what you want to say, no matter how you want to work it, unfortunately, the top two is Bellator and UFC. Those are the top two promotions in the entire world for the most part. If you want to add three, then you have ONE FC. Those are your top three. But ONE FC does some weird things. They don't have a public weigh-in, and they're doing this whole thing where they're really concerned with guys weight cutting. And so, like, we don't want these guys to cut weight, but they don't have any public weigh-ins, so you don't know how much over these guys are when they show up. And I've heard rumors of guys being 8, 9, 10 pounds overweight. Then you negotiate with your opponent, how much of their person am I going to get? Because I am now fighting at such a heavier weight. You need to pay me more if you guys want. I have to pay you to fight me because I'm so fat. Like this, that's the reality.
Wow.
Dang, girls wouldn't stand a chance at that sport.
And so that's why I kind of don't really put them in the top 3 all the time, because they are a little weird about that.
Mhm.
But that's the reality of it. And those guys and their contracts, the top 2 are basically win bonus, show bonus, and that's kind of how it works. Now Bellator is doing a thing now where some of the fighters get, this is what you paid, this is what we offer you, and that's it. And then UFC is still very much win bonus, show money, and then win money. And it ain't Queen of State, but that's the way it's going to be for a long time. There's just no way around it.
Mhm.
If you have a good manager, you get yourself like a Nima or a Brian Butler or someone like that as a manager in MMA, they can probably negotiate a straight rate for you. You'll probably make a little bit less than if you were getting win bonuses, but it's gonna be guaranteed every time you show up. You know what you're making, and you know what it is, no matter what, win, lose, or draw. It's so much better, and I get it. Where it's also the other point is like people fight harder when they know they're only gonna get 50% if they lose. Like people tend to fight harder, but the camp price doesn't change. My food price, my chiropractic, my massages, my doctors, what I got to pay my manager, what I got to pay my trainers, like those prices are all fixed. Like nothing changes. So for you to take away these numbers from me actually hurts me in the end, because it means I make less money and I can't survive. And so a lot of these fighters, and every fighter, they're not making any money unless they fight. So of course there's going to be fights when you want to have fights out there, because these fighters have to get paid. If I don't fight, I'm not making any money. And it's like, if I want to make some money, I got to go fight. So if you call me to fight, I'm like, well, I can not make any money and sit for 4 more months, or I can go make some money and go fight. Then I'm going to go fight. Let's just see what happens. I don't care what the money is. I need something, and something is better than nothing. So it's very difficult to kind of navigate this whole space of where should the money come from? Where should money go? How much should I get? And how should it be split? I personally do not like the win bonus structure. I would prefer it to be every fighter gets paid what they get paid. This is what I signed for. This is it. The end of it. And of course you get the top end guys get pay-per-view numbers. They get their check, but they also get pay-per-view numbers. And that's like Kamaru Usman and Holloway and all those title fights, the last 3 fights this last Saturday, all these guys, they all got pay-per-view money. Whatever their structure is and whatever it is, each guy's different. But they all got a little pay-per-view money, plus they got their fight money. I would prefer it to be no win, no loss, just this is my straight rate, and that's it, be done with it.
From a sustainability aspect, right? Like if you're going to build a career and you're going to build a business and you've got these fixed costs, right? You need to know how much your camp is going to cost you going into a fight, right? Do you think that trade-off in let's call it comfort of sustainability is worth it when somebody might not be quite as hungry in the ring? Or do you think that doesn't even matter, that somebody's still going to go in and be just as hungry?
Well, that's the thing. Hunger is a strange thing. Like GSP wasn't hungry for 5 years of his career, but he's still winning fights. They were long, drawn out, 25-minute, kind of boring fights, but he was kicking everybody's ass for 5 rounds. It was like, I think for I want to say maybe 30 rounds. He didn't lose a round for 30 rounds. Boring. Not real hungry, didn't really show up, kind of only fought once a year, but he didn't lose a round. Mm-hmm. You're like, wow. And then I forget who it was. Maybe it was Jake Shields took a round from him, I think, or Johnny Hendricks took a round from him. Johnny Hendricks definitely took a round from him, but I'm not sure because that was a split decision win for him. But I'm not positive Johnny was the first. But he hadn't lost a round in like maybe like 20, 25 rounds. He hadn't lost a round. And then he loses a round or 2 rounds and still wins the title. You're like, I don't care how not hungry you are. You can't really say hungry because some guys have it, some guys don't. The thing is that we went from a sport to sports entertainment. So MMA right now is very much sports entertainment. You don't see this level of trash talking even in boxing, let alone hockey, football, basketball, baseball. You don't see this level of trash talking that you see. We went from the Frank Trigg era, which was trying to sell a fight so that I can get a fight.
Yeah.
To the Chael Sonnen era, which is I'm trying to get a bigger paycheck, so I'm gonna talk a bunch of trash. To the Conor McGregor era, that trash talks so good he called Mayweather out of retirement to fight him. That's how good he is at trash talking. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you can say he won the first round, he won whatever in the boxing fight, but the reality of it is he had no hope of ever winning that fight. It's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it's like so. Being hungry isn't really the thing anymore. It's really about, can this guy fight? Can this girl fight? And what do they bring to the table? Because it's not like a Paige Van Zandt who just fought this last weekend. She lost, and Dana's actually talking about cutting her now. They brought her in and brought her up too quickly. She's extremely attractive. She's amazing. Good. She's amazingly good fighter for the level she was at before she got to the UFC, and she got pushed too hard too quick. Because in the UFC there are no easy fights. It doesn't for sustainability. There is no easy fight. You can't keep some. You can't tomato can somebody. You can't pad their record. You got to put them out to the rules right away. Otherwise, it makes no sense. Underneath that clause, the UFC has a clause. They may sign you for, whatever, 4 years, 8 fights, but after 3 fights, you're 2-1 or you're 1-2. They're like, we don't want to have you around anymore, and they let you go. So they have the ability, from a sustainability aspect, to be like, this is not working for us. You just lost a fight. We're letting you out. It happened to John Fitch. John Fitch cost him a lot of money. He complained and bitched a lot. They didn't really like him. He lost 1 fight. Like, you're done. Literally lost 1 fight on Saturday. On Monday morning, he was released from his contract.
Wow.
And that's how it goes.
Wow. No mercy.
No, none whatsoever. Nor should there be. Like, this is a gladiator sport. This isn't a piddywink, playing chess or checker sport. This is this is a face punching business.
Yeah.
So there shouldn't be any mercy.
There's no HR. There's no HR department.
Yeah.
I'm trying to hurt you more than you hurt me. That's what we're trying to do. It's like
there's no mercy in UFC. That's well, the thing with UFC, it's not just fighting; it's a skill. Like, it's a learned skill on how to win this. And you're right. It's a gladiator sport. Where did you learn your moves from? Did you have any chance to train with the Gracies?
No. I trained Machados a little bit, but then I fought John Jacques, and that kind of stopped that. Like, I was at Dan and Santos for a little while, and was trying to do that kind of stuff, and at the Asanto Academy, but he's a black belt underneath the Machados, and I was fighting the Machados. They kicked us out of the academy because you get ready to fight one of our guys. Even though they were the Keegan and John Jacques was in the Valley, they're still like, you can't train here. It's just what it is. But that's jiu-jitsu. That's their mentality. Like, you train with us, you only train with us. I mean, the only one I actually found that was a little bit different, who I still train with today, is Renato Magna at Street Sports, where he's like, this is just, you come train with us when you're here, and when you're not here, you train with somebody else. It doesn't matter. Like, because you go some other place, you're gonna come work out with us, and you're gonna teach us some more stuff because you learned something someplace else. So we actually get the benefit of you training some other place. It doesn't really bother them that much. But because of that attitude, nobody wants to train anywhere else. Because he's like, go train whatever you want. You're like, I'm kind of good. I'll see you at 10 o'clock. I'll be there. But that's just kind of the game. And he is like still using stuff that we taught him 20 years ago. He's like, you taught me this. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I taught you that 20 years ago. You're still showing it. Like, this is amazing. Like, yeah, because it works. It's all reality based. Like, this is what it is. So I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of the mindset. But it's super difficult to be bouncing around. Now for me, I'm in a weird spot. Like, I have to be careful. Like, I've gone to practices and walked in there and seen like 3 guys that I know in a couple of weeks. I'm after a ref. I'm like, yeah, I can't be in class. I got to step out. He's like, why? Like, those guys are all fighting in LFA. These guys are all fighting in Lights Out, which is Lights Out is Sean Merriman's, the former Charger. It's his promotion. And I'm like, yeah, these guys are all fighting. I can't be in here because it'll be a conflict of interest if somebody finds out I trained with them, and then now I'm reffing them. And so I don't want to have that issue, so I have to leave. But okay, and sometimes I show up for practice and have to go away. But that's the life of a referee. Like, you kind of got to be careful who you train with and where you train and how what you're doing, and you kind of have to be very, very. And I get yelled at all the time. Like I shit you not. When I told you it was going to blow up, I've gotten 15 text messages since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. People talking about, what? No, you can't. I get that all the time. I get yelled at for everything. I am the bad guy in the group. Like, one time I said some stuff. I don't want to rehash it, so I won't give you all the information. But I got off the phone. I got off the interview. I walked away, and I got a phone call from Brazil. I got a phone call from New York. I got a phone call from California, and then I got a phone call from John McCarthy. I was like, what the hell did I do? Like, what the hell? And John was like, I love you, right? I'm like, yeah. He goes, you can't say that. I'm like, why can't I say that? It's the truth. He goes, I know it's the truth, but people are sensitive. You can't say that. I'm like, dude, if you can't, like, I don't want to play this political game. If this is the politics of the game, I'm out. Because I went to school for politics. This is what I went to school for. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't play the political game because I'm not any good at it, because I understand it, because I went to school to be a politician. And I realized when I graduated, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to go this route because it's not going to work for me.
Very good point that you bring up. That was actually one of the questions, is where did you go to college and what was your major? Jimmy James trip out on this right here. Check out this smart man over here.
I went to University of Oklahoma, and I have a major, I graduated a BA in political affairs administration, which is government work. You're basically like a city planner and that kind of thing, but I want to know how the government works so I could go in and infiltrate and take over and be the guy to change everything. And then I realized, like, I don't want anything to do with it, because back then you had to be really upstanding. No matter, it doesn't make a difference, Republican or Democrat. You had to be really upstanding. You couldn't have any skeletons in your closet. I was already divorced. I had some skeletons in the closet. Had some hiccups throughout my career. I was like, this is never going to work for me. And then Clinton got in the office and kind of changed everything. And when you get known for having blowjobs in the office, kind of switches things around a little bit, you know. And then,
when you erase people, I mean, you kind of get that. You get that road.
Erasing, or is it disappearing? I mean, let's call it semantics.
It's politics.
It's politics. Well, so moving on from going to college, and then flash forwarding to you meeting your wife, Jill. Jill is not just only your wife, she's your partner in crime. She rolls with you everywhere. She's your partner. Like, she's really the true meaning of a partner.
Now, understand, this is my fourth wife. This is not my second or my third. This is my
fourth. Oh, you're on the Elizabeth Taylor program too?
I am.
Okay.
And it's, so I'm one of those guys that treats marriage like dating, because ultimately, if you live with somebody a certain amount of time, depending on the state you're in, and they get mail at your place, and you guys, because you're in love, you get joint bank accounts, and you buy cars together, and you have a house together, but you're never married. When you split up, it's still the same. Nothing changes. You still have to go through a whole proceeding of separating the house, separating all the bank accounts, separating all the furniture. It's still a divorce. It's just not a legal divorce, but it's still a separation. Doesn't matter. So I treat marriages like dating. So I get married. I used to get married really quick, and then be like, oh yeah, I don't really particularly like this person. I got kids, so I'll hang out with them and see what happens. And then it's like, it doesn't work out, so I get divorced. Well, Jill and I had both came out of two really tough, really hard relationships. And we just met randomly. Funny enough, we met at a UFC. We actually met at a fight. So she was a huge fight fan before knowing me. Had nothing to do with me. She was a huge fight fan. And because she was a dealer in Vegas, she opened up the Cosmo, and she opened up the Wynn. At the time, she worked at the Cosmo. And she's like, I have access to all these tickets. I'm going to go all the time. Do you have those friends where you show up at an event and you're with a particular group of friends, and that friend is on the other side with another group of friends, right? But there's a couple of friends over there in that other group you don't really know, but you know half the group. It was kind of like that. We'd always be in the same spots. I literally was at, and I used to work for the Atlanta Falcons. I was one of their strength and conditioning coaches for a couple of seasons, and so I knew a lot of the players. So I'm at, I forget the name of the club. It's at the Cosmo. We're at the Cosmo, and the club is downstairs, down the elevator, or down the escalator. I forget it's changed names a couple times. And I'm up top at a Moet Promotions, which is Hennessy and Louis XIV whiskey, whatever the hell it is. Like that's their group. So I'm up there with them. I look over the balcony. I look down. And I see Floyd Mayweather, and I see Roddy White, who's a wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. And I just worked with them. I'm like, I'm going out to say hi to those guys. I walk down, and they're at tables next to each other down on the floor. And so I go over to Mayweather and say, hey, and we know each other from Vegas, living in Vegas. Like all the athletes know each other. So we said hi and talked a little bit. And I walk over and talk to Roddy White and have like a 3 or 4 minute conversation. And I leave and go up top and then we're talking whatever and hanging out. And then like flash forward 8 months, I was like, yeah, I was at this thing. And she was like, yeah, Roddy's my client. When I'm off duty, I take him. I'm like his VIP host. I take him around and I take him gambling, and I get him into the clubs and do these things. Like this is kind of, we were there at the exact same time. She was in the booth. Now understand, Roddy White is black. He hangs out only with black folks. My wife is white. She's the only white person in the table. Didn't see her. Didn't see her. I know, wow. And at the time, she's a rockabilly punk. So she has the big palm with the separate hair in the front. The bangs are separate colors. Like back then, they were bright blonde, and the rest of her hair was black. Mm-hmm. So it was like that was the look. So you stands out in the crowd. Mm-hmm. I don't care what crowd you're in, you still can pick her out. Didn't see her, not one time. When we met, we found out we had 30 of the same friends, but had never met.
Wow.
And literally had been in the same places a multitude of times, but had never met. So we're at a fight. I'm hanging out with the Tap Out crew, Scrape, the big guy with the afro. We've been friends for now 25 years almost. And he was there, and I was there hanging out with him after the fight was over. I was like, oh, we're going to go to the Beecher's Madhouse, which is over at MGM, and that's where the fight was that night. And met this girl, kind of saw her, whatever, talked to her for a little bit. Not really that big of a deal. Kind of went to Beecher's, went the next night to a different thing. I left early. I was like bored, didn't really wasn't feeling it. You know, sometimes you go out to a club and you're like, I'm feeling it. Let me go try and get hooked up. And yeah. It was Vegas. Like there's a lot of ass on it. I can definitely land it. It's super easy. Like when you live there and you see some tourists, you're like, yeah, I can $20 in drinks. I'll be in her hotel room. 100%. I got this. So I was there that night. I was like, I don't feel it. I'm gonna go home. So I went home. The next night, I saw her out again. Got her phone number. Started chatting her up, and then we started dating probably a month later. And then about a month after that, we both like, hey, do you want to be exclusive? And she had a couple other boyfriends, I had a couple other girlfriends, and we just kind of cut everybody else off. And then we've been together for 6.5, almost 7 years now. And the difference is with this relationship is that she's actually a true partner, where I'm going through another thing. I kind of reinvent myself every couple, 3-4 years, and I found this new thing I want to get into, which I'll get into in a minute. But she's one of those. It's like when I first got into stunts and was like, okay, I'm gonna start pursuing a stunt career in film and television. I had an opportunity to go work for Jeff Cadiente on Hawaii Five-0, who was the stunt coordinator. Mm-hmm. It was like, I'm gonna be able to go in this thing. I got a shot, but I got to move to Hawaii. I'm kind of like, I don't really know if I want to do this, whatever. And we come back from a trip over there. I talked to Alec O'Loughlin, who played Steve McGarrett, the lead. The show's now over, so that's why I'm talking in past tense. It is wrapped, series wrapped. And I was like, hey, Alec, I'm thinking about coming out here. What do you think? He's like, dude, you'll love it out here. He goes, I found my wife out here. My kids are here. Like, dude, I'm telling you, you'll love it. Come out. I talked to Jeff. He's like, we'd love to have you if you want to come out. I'm like, okay. So then I went and go back. And about 2 weeks later, I'm like, hey, Joe, what do you think? Like, should we go? She goes, oh, I thought we already were going. I've already transferred my job, and I'm getting ready to start packing up the house. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, we are moving to Hawaii. I'm like, I'm sorry you didn't realize this is actually what's happening, but this is what's going on. I'm like, oh, I guess we're moving to Hawaii then. And we moved to Hawaii for 4 years, and I was on 5-0 working. That it was supposed to be for 9 months. I was going to go out there for one season, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Jeff asked me back for the next season. He asked me back again, and I stayed. And then all of a sudden, I did 3 seasons. Ended up being 3.5 years because the way the scenes worked out. And then we came back to LA because my work shifted to LA. But she's one of those, it's like, when it stands on the edge of a cliff, and I'm going to push you off every single time just to make you grow a little bit more. And she keeps pushing me just to get better. So honestly, all the stuff I have going on right now, like everything that's going on that's right in my life, is because she has pushed me to make that happen. Because change is scary as shit. Trying to do something new is fucking scary. I mean, I can't even imagine trying to go back and try to do stand-up comedy again. I can't even imagine trying to do that. I did it one time and bombed. 3 times. 2 times practicing and then one big show, and bombed every single time. Like I never had a laugh. Not one giggle, not one chuckle, not one thing. I am a horrible stand-up comedian. That is the reality of it. Now I had nobody writing for me. I had nobody help me out, but I was trying to do it on my own, and I sucked. And I tried it. I'm like, that is scary as fuck. Like, I'm not going to ever do that again. That is scary up there talking to a bunch of people and telling them a joke that internally like, this is funny as hell. And they're like, huh? Okay, fuck this. So,
you could be a funny motherfucker, but it's a science.
It's timing. It's the shit I don't have. I just don't have it. So this is the thing that she does for me the most, is that she pushes me off a ledge. So this new thing I'm getting into, most people don't know this, but I've been around boats my entire life. My father gave me a love of the water very early. When my parents got divorced, one of the things that he would do, he'd grab me every Tuesday night and go on Tuesday night races. So it'd be like it basically only needed 2 guys in the boat. My dad would bring me along to be like the other guy on the boat, and I'd pull and release, sheets and ropes and stuff like that. But I fell in love with sailing. Did it for a super long time, got into wrestling, and then couldn't because I was always wrestling, so I couldn't keep sailing all the time. And I was, and wrestling becomes, when you get good at it, it becomes a year-round kind of sport. It's not there's not like a month into it or whatever. And so he was like, he's like, hey, I really missed the sailing thing. Moved to Hawaii. He's like, stopped for a couple of years, and several years, like 10 years, 15 years. Moved to Hawaii, got back into it again, and fell back in love with it. And Jill is like, why aren't you a captain? Like, why are you not a captain? This makes no sense to me. For as much as you sail now, you race Tuesday, Wednesday nights, you practice racing on Sunday afternoons. We belong to a yacht club. Like, why are you not a captain? She pushed me off the ledge again. I'm back in, and it's actually because I'm at my desk. This is where I study, but I'm back in school again. I've been in school so we can learn how to be a captain. So I'm back in school. And then my dad, who how old was he? He was 54, went to school to become a ship's captain and became a 500-ton captain, is out there doing big ships. But that was his job for 30 years. And now he's, 25 years, and now he's 82 and he's retired. I'm like, it's like, this is kind of what we do as Triggs. We find something we love and we go after it. So now I'm back to I'm going to be a ship's captain. And the goal is, the way the track is going, I'll take the test in September, and by October, I'll have my license and be a ship's captain. I'll be able to start doing charters, and we start doing charters in the off time. Now, don't think that reffing and stunts and acting aren't also my passions, but I'm very available because of my partner, where I'm able to reach all my passions. Now, James, I'm sure your wife talks to you quite a bit, tells you, hey, I really love that you're very passionate about this thing, but this thing costs the family $25,000 a year. Can you find a different thing? Can you do something else? Right? You have that?
We have those conversations. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm lucky enough where my passion is acting, creates me money. My passion is stunt work. It creates me money. My passion is reffing. It creates me money. My passion now will be, it has been for a long time, sailing, but now I can make some money off it. So my hobbies actually create me a little bit of income. Mm-hmm. So it's not bad, especially because Tanya knows it's not every day we get a job. We don't get to show up every day on set. 97% of the people that are in SAG don't work every day.
Yeah, true.
Work every day. You're because Jada and Will Smith are in the news right now,
and they're in an entanglement.
Yeah. Hey, look, man, God bless the relationship. It's none of my business what they do and how they handle it. Good parents, take care of the kids, be good to each other. I don't care how you deal with it. I don't care if you're banging the mailman and your husband or wife knows about it. I don't give a shit. Just do whatever you do. I don't care. You know how many politicians that are closet homosexual but are married with kids and have boyfriends on the side, but it's known and it's okay within their family, and it's known within the political world, but it's not known to constituents. Like, this is the reality of the world we live in. Like, this is how things work. It's not my job to be in your business or what you do, but damn it, Jada, it was an affair. Stop saying it was an entanglement.
Yeah. You was getting that circumference, girl. Stop playing.
She was getting it. I'm not, from the rumors I heard, she wasn't getting just circumference from one end.
Oh.
Man, I mean, that's the relationship. It works for them. That's how it works. And the thing is, you got to find a partner. And this is the problem with I have a friend right now, and it hurts my heart every time he talks about, like, he is so in love with his partner, so in love. She is just not supportive of his dreams, and he is battling every day to get his dreams. I'm like, and he keeps telling me, man, how come we're not like you and Jill? How come we're not like you and Jill? I'm like, it's because nobody is like Jill and I. There is nobody like Jill and I, because our relationship is our relationship. Tanya, your relationship is your relationship. James, your relationship is your relationship. This is how it works. Everybody has a different relationship. Ours works for the way that we do things. And by no means am I perfect. By no means am I an upstanding, freaking super solid. Like, I fucking get yelled at all the time. Let's not think that I'm not getting talked down to because I screwed up again. Like, let's not think that's not happening. Mm-hmm. It's happening on a daily. Like, I'm always fucking up something, whether it's leaving too much liquid on the brand new $500 cutting board we got, or it's me not putting the dishes away the correct way because they have to be put, because our spacing is it's a whole fucked up thing, but our spacing is weird. So I have to put the dish away a certain way, and I'm lazy to like throw them in there. Like shit like that, up to the fucking you should not have sent that text. You absolutely should not have talked to that person that way. Like, that is not okay. Or once you talk to her that way a little bit more. Once you talk, like, it goes through the whole gamut, but you got to have these conversations. And the difference is that she supports all my dreams, all my hopes, all my wishes without any, honestly, sometimes without thinking about what she is going to have to suffer through to make this thing happen. And a lot of times having to suffer through knowing what she's going to have to suffer through and be like, it's still okay with it. Like, okay, this is what we're going to do, because it's a partnership. Marriages and relationships are partnerships. So people forget. And this might be too much because obviously Tania's, I'm thinking, Tania's still single? I don't know.
Yes, I'm single.
Okay. I'm assuming you are, but I don't know. I haven't asked you lately.
Yes.
I don't want to get all up in your I don't know what's going on when you're.
Yeah, I'm in between. What do you say? Yeah, I'm in between relationships.
Not entangled.
No, I'm not entangled. I'm just yeah. So for hello?
Yep, got it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not entangled or yeah.
So my thing is that Jill doesn't do the yelling thing, which I'm so accustomed to. She sits me down and goes, "Hey, look, this is what makes me feel. This is how this thing makes me feel. This is like how I would like to feel. This is what you want to do. This is how you want to do it. I can see how this thing can work. Let's just go ahead and do it." So I get pushed off a ledge a lot. I get pushed off a ledge, and I get wings, and I learn how to grow. But
is this my Wi-Fi?
no,
No? Okay. We're good?
Because
freezing up a little.
It's all good. They're probably updating internet service somewhere.
Yep.
They're putting a COVID tracker on your phone as we speak right now. Sorry for the delay, people. Thank you guys so much for joining us on Talking Crap. We have UFC's legend, Frank Trigg, with us. Me and Jimmy James Callaghan, my partner in crime, that makes this podcast happen. And we're having a real in-depth conversation with Frank and getting real personal, talking about him and Jill. That's so cute. I love your relationship. To me, is what I would dream of having in a person, is someone that supports what I want to do and is one step ahead of the game and knows, hey, this is what you're going to do. I've already taken care of it. I've got it. Like, and that's why I'm single.
It's hard to find. You can't settle.
No,
and that's the biggest thing. Is like, this is comfortable, this is convenient, this is nice, like whatever. So how many relationships, friends have you talked to during the COVID lockdown? You're like, I have a buddy of mine, true story, buddy of mine, started dating this chick, totally infatuated with this girl, like into her 100%, like everything about her, like her smell, her taste, the way she walks, the way she smiles, like, oh my gosh, there's her little pinky toes, and like the whole little stuff that makes you throw up in your mouth, that whole bit. And you're like, wow, this is awesome. Like, I'm glad you might have found your person. Let's see how this works out. COVID happens, and all of a sudden he's like, why are we staying in separate places? Let's just move in together. This doesn't make any sense. We're going to be locked down anyway. Might as well just do it together. 2 months into it, he's like, I'm going to kill a bitch.
Oh, really?
I'm like, yeah.
What went wrong there? What do you think went wrong there?
It wasn't long enough. They didn't spend the time to actually learn. They were very much a working, super high level professional couple. Mm-hmm. Both have different, and I don't want to say what their professions are because I give too much away, but they're very high level, have their own income, very wealthy type couple. Mm-hmm. And they were working their asses off 14 hours a day, would come home, see each other for 2.5 hours. It's new, it's fresh. So it'd be like a little candlelight dinner, a little bit of wine, a bunch of sex, go to sleep, wake up, take a shower, go back to work, and you wouldn't see that person. Now all of a sudden, you didn't realize, do they leave the toilet seat up? Do they leave the toilet seat down? Mm-hmm. Do they squeeze a toothpaste tube from the center of the tube? Do they spit and not clean when they shave in the shower? Do they not clean up the sink after they shave in the sink? Do they fold their clothes or leave their clothes in a pile in the corner? Do they, like these little things that drive people nuts. Like some people are like, oh no, just leave his clothes in the corner. That's what he does. Like, that's his thing. Other people are like, you better pick your shit up right now. Like that's how I run the household. Like, you got to kind of navigate this stuff when you get into a partnership, just like a business. You got to navigate how your partners want the business to be run. You have to navigate how your partner wants the relationship to be run. You got to figure these things out. You have to compromise every day for different things. And they didn't compromise. They never found that space. They were still in that loving, brand new space where everything is cool. Now all of a sudden you're locked down 24 hours a day. Can't go to work. Got nobody to talk to. All you got is Netflix and Hulu. And you're looking at each other. You're like, you porn? What do you want to do? Like,
you porn?
All of a sudden now you're like, I can't stand this. I didn't realize how much she chews with her mouth open. I didn't realize how much he spits when he talks. I honestly didn't realize this person doesn't like red meat. I had no idea that this person is actually a vegan. Like now all of a sudden I got to change my whole lifestyle. I'm like, wow, like shit like that's going on. Like I have a multitude of people that are like, I can't wait. The moment it got lifted in California, like it got lifted, they're like, over, relationships over. People finding new apartments, people moving on. Like I'm done. Now they're locked down again. It's like, what are you doing? Oh, you're single. All of a sudden you FaceTime me. Oh, you're single. Like you're really. Get on Bumble. Stop bothering me. Like, I got my own shit going on over here, but it's tough. Like relationships are hard. There's nothing easy about a relationship. Nothing at all.
I've got a buddy who jumped into a living situation and found out that his girlfriend actually shits with the door open, and that was the deal breaker.
Oh, prison style. She's a prison chick. That's what that is.
Nope, does not work for me. Sorry.
A prison chick right there.
I've had relationships where literally they're like, come in here, and they're taking a dump. They're like, why am I talking? I didn't get in a conversation, whatever. And I'm like, I couldn't figure out what really bothered me about it. I was like, to me, women might pee, but they never poop. I don't want to know anything about it. Yep. I don't want to know anything about it. That's just me. Like I said, this is me, not every man. I'm talking about me. I don't want to know anything about that. Keep the damn door closed. If I walk in the door and the fan is on in the bathroom, the door is closed, I assume they're in there cutting their toenails, plucking their eyebrows, and they'll be out in a little bit. Do not knock. Do not go in that door. Leave it alone. And when they come out, I'm not going in for 15 minutes. That's the rule. That's it. I don't want to know anything about that. It's got nothing to do with me. And it's kind of, for me, but I have people that have relationships like, oh, we don't have a door in the bathroom. Like,
oh yeah, no. Yeah, that's the whole thing. I was with a dude one time that I would go spend the night.
You were with a dude one time?
This one time I was with this one dude. Okay. This one time I was with this one dude. I didn't go number 2 for 5 years when I would go over there.
Oh, okay.
I would hold it. I would hold it till I would be at home in my own space. I just could not let myself be that. I just couldn't do it, And now, I'm in my own space. I get to live by myself. And even then, I lived separate, but now in my singleness, I've realized that my standards have gotten a lot higher on who I want to spend my time with. I don't have that much time. Most of my time is spent just, everything I'm doing is so much. I'm doing so much. I would hate to have someone here just in my, and it would have to be the right person to be here. That is like Jill. That is one step ahead of your game and is there helping you as a partner, not someone that's just taking up your space. I just couldn't do it. So
I got this morning. This is exactly how it works for me. I got this morning, and I had an interview in Canada. So I was on the East Coast, so I had to get up at like 7:30, and it was 8:25 because I have to get up and roll out a little bit and do some sit-ups and some push-ups and kind of get woken up and then have my coffee and then got on the Zoom channel, did a thing. And I'm like sitting, I immediately went from that to doing, I went immediately from that. Jill comes in, and this is like one step ahead. She comes in and goes, hey, I know you have a busy day, but before you start studying, come over here. I'm like, what? She's like, we're going to have sex before you start that. Come over here. Because she knows that my whole day is full. This is the window we have is right now. Because if I start studying, I'm locked in, I'm not getting up. And then when I get done, I have to go work out, finish my workout. And then I have to go do another one. And then I have to get ready for dinner. And then I got this. So it was like, I can't, there's no other time. There's no other spacing. So when I have sex, so I came out, okay, perfect. Came in, did that, sat down, started studying. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm starving. I can't stop though. If I stop, I'm not going to come back. I'll find an excuse never to come back and keep studying. So I kept studying. I was she's like, here's a little snack. And she brought me a quesadilla. She's like, I know you're hungry. I'm like, fuck, thank God. Like, if she wasn't there, if she wasn't here, there was no way I would have made it through. I literally would have been like, just like hangry, yelling at the computer because in this segment, you read a segment, you watch a couple of videos, you have to take a quiz. And I'd just be yelling because I'd be failing the quiz because I'm not paying attention because I'm thinking about food. And that's what she did. She's one step ahead. You got to find somebody. You got to find somebody that's going to be one step ahead of you. You have to. It sounds stupid. It sounds cliche, but you got to find that person that gets you and understands you. The same person that understands your weirdness, the same person understands your kinks and your quirks and your little things. You got to find them. But I'm telling you, after you realize that you match sexually, and that's a big factor. People don't put enough factor on that. You can be in love with somebody, but the sex is
Oh like, yeah, no. Gotta have the sex.
You gotta have that where we match, because everybody's got a kink. Everybody's got a thing that they like that no one else knows about except for their partner. And now it might be a couple partners because you got a couple partners that are into it, but you gotta know that you gotta find a partner that understands you at a mental and emotional standpoint and gets enough to go, and then has the wherewithal. They may understand it, but then you gotta have to find the partner that has the wherewithal to be able to go, I gotta get one step ahead. I gotta make this quesadilla. I gotta set this thing up for him and understand, like, this is what's going on. And she knows, like, we'll get interview requests from some people, and she's like, he doesn't want to do it. I know he doesn't want to do it. I gotta talk him into it. So I'm gonna set it for Wednesday when I can be home from work, so I can talk him into it, because if I'm at work, he just won't go. He just won't get on his computer. They're just like, I was playing Call of Duty. I was doing Xbox. Sorry, I forgot. She's like, okay, so she sets it up knowing that I don't want to do this particular podcast. It's always a weird situation when I do it. I don't really want to do it, but she's like, let's get you on it. And I get on there, and when I'm done with them, like, I'm glad I did it, but it's just like one of those things that you just like, there's certain things I just don't want to do. And she sets that schedule. Let me reiterate, this is how our relationship works. You got to figure out your own relationship. You can't do it the way that we do it, but this is what works for us. And because of that, I'm in stunts, I'm in reffing, I'm in judging, I'm in acting. Like, she's the one that's like, no, you got to look. You cannot be an actor and not go have an acting coach. You cannot do that. This is not how this works. This isn't some fly-by-night thing. You're just gonna walk in there and I'm gonna start being a star. This is how it works in Hollywood. You have to go work at this thing. Go work. So here's the deal. We're not going out for the next 3 nights because that's how we save the money to go pay for this acting class that you're going to take once a week. So go do it. Like, oh shit, she really wanted to go out last night, but she said we had to stay home. So let me go fucking take this class now, God damn it. And that's what happens. But you got to figure out your space. You got to figure out how to do it and navigate it. And there's still compromise. There's still things. Like, I'm in the middle of trying to figure out a way to buy a boat. We had this opportunity, and she looked at me and says, that opportunity is not going to work for us. And that was the end of the opportunity. And I was into it, and I wanted to keep talking about it. I want to keep hitting up the owner. I want to keep asking more questions. She's like, it's not going to work for us. I'm like, why? Doesn't matter why. I told you it's not going to work for us. Sorry, but it's not going to work for us. That's it. To kind of make the compromise. Whatever the reason is, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Can't argue my way through it. I can't tuck my way into it. I got to accept it. It's not going to work for us. But then when you find the right opportunity, all of a sudden she's like, it doesn't matter if we have to sell our kidneys. This is what's going to work for us. I'm going to make it. Okay, that's how it works. So it's like, you got to figure out and navigate your relationships. And these things are hard, man. And getting your goals, there's only two ways to find your goals. You do it Tanya's way. You do it my way. That's it. And it sounds simple. Either be single or be with somebody that can help you reach it.
Yeah.
It's not fucking simple.
Thank you, Frank. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Like, that means a lot. Guys don't understand.
What you do is fucking crazy.
It's crazy. All of it's fucking crazy. It's crazy. Insane. But you know what? But I'm so happy getting to do what I want right here. Look, in my princess castle. I've got nobody fucking telling me shit. I get to do what I want to do. And unless I'm getting circumference and I'm getting one step ahead, I don't fucking want nobody through my door. Like, I'm good.
But you'll let them come in for a couple hours. And be like, look, this is the 120 minutes I got free.
If I got that kind of window, you know.
That's difficult. Everybody wants somebody to be in their life. They want to belong. We want to belong. We have a herd mentality. We want to belong. We want to belong to somebody, belong to a group. It's very difficult. It's very hard being single, especially in California. It is hard to date in California. You can't, for us, well, for me.
Yeah, it is. It's
can't date anybody on the other side of the 405 because where I live. Are you kidding me? Like this?
The traffic wouldn't work. That 120-minute window wouldn't work.
Dude, you're so hot. Oh my God. I eat the corn out of your shit. You're so hot. Where do you live? Orange County. Oh,
Burbank.
Never mind. Let go. There's no way. I have a buddy of mine that for about 10 months. He went through a really bad breakup. It fucking hurt his heart. This breakup really destroyed him. He's now ready to start dating again. COVID. Who the fuck is he dating? So he's on the apps. He's on the apps. We have, because we've all been quarantined in the same building together. We're all friends. We all live in the same building. So we hang out together all the time. Even during COVID, we still hung out because we're quarantined in the fucking building. We hang out so much, literally, hey, I'm going to Costco. What do you guys need? Oh, can you give me, and they give me the grocery list, and I go shop for them. I drop off their food in front of their doors. I come down, and then I look at my Venmo, and they've already paid me for everything I gave them. I'm like, this is fucking, it's awesome. Like, it's super easy. Mm-hmm. He brings some of these girls over in the group, and some of them he's been really into, and within 5 minutes, I'm like, just like, I have no filter. I'm that friend. I'm like, hey, this isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work. All right, okay. And then like 2 days later, he's like, yeah, I don't talk to her anymore. What happened? He's like, it's not gonna work. Like, it doesn't work for the group. It doesn't work. I'm like, he's like, but I'm super lonely. I gotta have somebody around. I'm like, well, then you have that girl that comes over for a couple minutes, but you don't have the girl that comes over and stays. Like, you haven't found your person yet. Like, you gotta figure out, yeah, but this girl's hot, and this girl's hot, and this girl's hot. Yeah, that's great. That's visual. That's visual. Okay, so you got the visual down. Where's the emotion? Oh, she's dumb as fucking rocks. Okay, well then fucking gotta jump it. Get rid of it. Like, this one doesn't do well with alcohol. We all drink. We're all heavy fucking drinkers. You can't have her around and she can't handle alcohol. You kidding me? I don't want some person I have to keep picking up off the floor when we're out. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's one of the interesting things that's come out of this this COVID situation is a sense of community, right? This like these macro communities that are starting up. My wife and I, we really love to cook. And so we started a dinner swap in the neighborhood and we got really close with a lot of our neighbors. And Tania got looped in. Your enchiladas that you made over the weekend were fantastic. They were so good.
Oh yeah. Not only do I suck good dick, but I can motherfucking cook. I can cook.
Those enchiladas were great.
I can cook.
But Frank, I hear what you're saying because somebody in the neighborhood will want to get in on the dinner swap, and it's hard to say no, right? Because you're trying to have a sense of community and you're trying to be the good people and you're trying to, have this sense of inclusion because nobody should be left out at a time like this. But some people are just straight up square pegs and round holes, right? And so you got to tolerate it and you sort of do the dance. But man, we've eaten a lot of rice. And there's been a couple shitty rices that have come through the door, and you got to figure out like how do you dance around it, and with some sense of style, like
I can't even tell you. Out of it. I mean, how many times I've been on FaceTime? My buddy, he's from Guam, which is American territory, by the way. Which I'll get to that story here in a second.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know it either. It's funny. I'll get to that in a second. Okay. And I call him up. I'm like, hey, Timmy, man, like, how do you make your red rice? And he gives me all the ingredients. He actually sent me the ingredient list of how to make it. And then I was like, Tim, man, I'm struggling. I don't understand. Like, what? He's like, dude, I'm making it right now. Let's get on FaceTime. So we get on FaceTime. He takes me through step by step. And it was like, okay, now I got it. Now I can go through. I can make it. And now I make it all the time. It's like, it's super easy, but I didn't get it. But I needed him to help me navigate it. I'm pretty lucky. There's a restaurant downtown called Redbird in LA, and my friend Neil Fraser is the chef. He's the owner and the chef of it. And my other buddy, randomly, Tobin Shea, is the mixologist and his partner that runs it up. So I call them constantly. How do I cook this? How do I cook this? What do I do with this? What should I do? And he's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, this is how it's taught. He's like, who taught you how to make that shit? I don't know. Somebody in college like did it one time. He's like, why are you putting all that on that? You have an amazing cut of Wagyu. There's nothing else you need to put on that thing except freaking salt, pepper, and oil. Like, leave it alone. Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, and what? Why high heat? Why high heat? Like this. And so Jill has been yelling at me forever because she was taught by a grandmother how to cook. The grandmother is Polish, very much everything from scratch, like pastas, breads from scratch. And she's like, why are you doing anything on high heat? Because I'm a dude. I'm hungry right now. I'm not hungry in 4 hours.
We cook with fire. That's why.
Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
I am mad.
Yeah.
Hear me roar. Yeah.
Yes. And so because of COVID,
fuck the oven, give me the grill.
My cooking skills I'm still not a great cook by any means. I don't want anybody to think that I'm a great cook, but my cooking skills have increased by 1,000% because of COVID. I can't go out. I have no choice. Now I'm getting up. I'm doing my morning routine. I got my shit going on. By 11 o'clock in the morning, I am already trying to plan dinner. Sometimes I have to plan dinner the night before because it might take 8 hours to slow cook in a crock pot a sirloin cap. I got to make it. It's got to take forever. So I have to wash it and marinate it tonight. Then I have to get up at 11 o'clock and take it. Hold on, 11 to 9. At 8 o'clock, I have to take it out of the refrigerator and let it start warming up. So it's the room temperature before I drop in the crock pot at 10 o'clock for it to cook for 6 hours. For me to turn it off and let it rest for an hour before we can eat it. It's like, what the fuck kind of shit is this? Well, this is what restaurants do. You understand this is what restaurants do? Yeah. This is why the food is so good when we go out. It's because this is what they do. I was like, no, I thought when I ordered it, they just started cooking it and then it was in my plate. They're like, dude, they've been working on this recipe for 3 days. I'm like, oh, okay. Now I get time. So man, this sense of community right now, you got to take advantage of it. Like injuries. I had a buddy of mine, his daughter fell down and smacked her head on a table. Ooh. He was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. He goes, I'm scared. He's super anxious. He's scared to leave the house. He didn't want to leave because he's worried about getting COVID. And he didn't want to get it because his daughter has asthma. She's like 5. And so she's in that realm. If she gets it, it could kill her. And this is the science. Ooh. So he's like, I don't want it to leave the house. He's like, what do I do? What do I do this little cut? I go, do you have super glue or Gorilla Glue? And I was like, yeah. I go, do you have iodine? He goes, yeah. I go, clean the wound. Get it clean. She's going to scream. It's going to suck, but clean it. Pinch it together, seal it off. Don't use much. Just get a little bit on there. Make sure it's sealed off. Show me. Get me on FaceTime. Show me. Boom. He's like, okay, great. You did it. Because of COVID is the only reason why he called me. If there wasn't COVID around, he would have went to the hospital. They would have put glue on it, put a steri-strips on it. Same thing that I had him do at the house, but he would have had to go to the doctor to go do that. Now we're learning how to do stuff. I had to call a buddy of mine that's a former Navy SEAL because I couldn't figure out how to clean my Ruger. I was having a problem getting the slide off. And he's like, dude, it's because it's on the other side. That the YouTube video is incorrect. It's flipped on you. So you're doing it the wrong side. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. But I had to call him to get this information. I'm actually talking to my friends more than I ever have because I'm never going to see them. They're not in my neighborhood. I'm never going to bump into them. I have to call them. So I talk to them a lot more. I get a lot more information. The community right now is the only thing that's keeping us alive, especially now with this new lockdown that LA is going through. We're back to being able to talk. If you don't know how to do something, Facebook. Hey guys, I'm trying to cook chicken tonight for my family. What do I do? Oh, you'll get 37 recipes. 20 of them will be bullshit. 5 will be way out of your range of trying to do it. Like, I don't have fucking gold. What am I doing with gold flakes? Like that. Or do you get like 10 or 15? Like, I can kind of work these. I can actually work this stuff. You know, it's like you got to figure it out.
I love it. I love that you've been cooking because Jill is like, she's like a self-proclaimed chef. Like she really gets into it. She actually was going to
open a restaurant. She was going to open a restaurant. Yeah. She like when we first met, had the business plan, was going to the bank to get the loan, and she had a partner that we're actually working in. The partner, he's very anxious and went a little bit early. Like he didn't want to wait, and she's very decisive. It takes a little bit to get behind it. And he's like, no, now. And he went and started the restaurant, and it closed in 9 months. He was like, yeah, well, I didn't get into that. Because you don't want to be that partner anyway, because you got to be slow. You got to be cautious. You got to pay attention. You got to understand what's going on in the economy. What's it cost? What's the realm? You got to know these things. And he just wasn't willing to look at all that stuff and want to go too quick. And she's like, okay, I don't feel comfortable. But yeah, she's like, if I could buy her a food truck and have her run a food truck, I would buy her a food truck today and let her run a food truck. And it'd be the most amazing food truck. you've ever had, but it's going to be like pierogies and sauerkraut and onions and like simple stuff that you like, simple, like in those, remember those old fry baskets with a little stupid fork that you like, the wood fork you'd eat, like there's gonna be stuff like that you can eat on the road and on the move. And is like, she's just got these incredible ideas for food, but it's also something she doesn't really have a passion for it right now. It's not her focus. So she's like, I'd rather not. I'd rather cook for. So our ultimate goal is we're 10 years away from this, but this is our ultimate goal, is for me to be captaining mega yachts during the season. So it's like a season's like 3 weeks, or excuse me, 3 months, and be captaining mega yachts while she's the chef, chief stew, and running dinner service and doing that. Like, that's what she wants to do. I'm like, this is really, she's like, yes, this is really what we do. So we're starting small with my captain's license. We'll start doing luxury yacht charters.
Yay! So you're gonna get a big yacht, big boat, big boat.
You come in and be on our boat. It's expensive because you get full service. We have a bosun, we have a stew, we have a chef, we have a captain. So we have 4 crew on, but we cater to you the entire time you're there. And it is a luxury yacht experience while you're here. And when you come down to Marina del Rey, you get on our boat. It might be for 3 hours. It might be for 8 hours. It might be an overnight to Catalina, like whatever your level is. But we give you a full luxury yacht experience. Have either one of you guys ever seen the show Down Below?
Yes, where they have the full experience, where they have the chef and they have the captain and they have the crew and it shows the crew. I love that show.
And those things are like $25,000 a day. Like you're on a big fucking mega yacht. This is what it is. But it's one of those deals where you want to give somebody, but we're lesser. We're going to start at a lesser level where people, it's affordable. Like you and 5 of your friends can afford to come on board.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do this
and hang out. Like this is something that's affordable. It might be a stretch, but it's going to be affordable for everybody in the sense of it's not a $25,000 day. It might be a $3,000 day. It might be a $1,200 day, depending on what you want to do with the drinks, with the food, with the snacks, with the water toys, with the stuff. But that's what we're trying to move into, is we're trying to get into this mega yacht situation because of the way she cooks. And this is her thought process. Like, she's like, no, this is kind of where I want to go. I want to go into this service set. We even talked about, especially with COVID, because they're still running yacht charters a lot of different places. Unfortunately, we can't get there because we're American. Mm-hmm. How fucking weird is that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're cutting off Americans at the pass.
I was trying to go to Thailand to go look at a boat to see if I wanted to purchase it. I can't get to Thailand. I called American Airlines. I'm like, why can't I find a flight to Thailand? I know you fly there. I know this for sure. You fly there. Why can't I get there? Like, because you're American? I was like, what? This doesn't make any sense to me. Like, holy shit, this place we can't go right now. Can't get into Europe. Can't get in. Can't get in. No. It's like we're just shut down. I'm like, fuck, dude, this is nuts. So we were actually talking about, since we're on lockdown, why don't we just go over there for a month and go work on a boat together and just see what happens? I would be a bosun. I'd be on the deck and she'd be downstairs being a stew. We'd be third space, brand new. So we're third space for the low end of the totem pole, but let's go do it. She's like, this is kind of where she's leaning towards. So I was like, that's why the food truck has been put on hold, because she wants to kind of do it on a boat. And it's like, this is the thing, man, trying to find your partner's hopes and dreams. James, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit.
Do it.
What's your wife's dream?
Ooh, my wife's dream is to be a director.
Be a director.
Yeah.
Are you supporting her to, like, is she going to school to be a director? Is she working on being a director? Are you supporting her and putting, like, you know what, today kind of sucks. My daughter's sick, but the wife's got something to do, and I'm supposed to be with Tania, working on the band. I got to figure this out. And being
let me answer that. I'm going to answer that. Can I answer that, James?
Sure,
let me answer that. Okay. Yeah. All right, Frank. So, last year, remember when I was playing in the band with James, and we were always, first top of the morning, first thing I would head out, I would go and play with the band. I would go hang out. We'd go and block out day after day after day after day. The day that his wife said, I'm quitting my job, I'm starting my own company, you know what James said? Hey guys, I'm going to need you guys to come pick up your stuff because we are closing the lockout. Band's done. Wife is starting, wife is leaving her work. And it was just like, oh shit, James is straight supporting his wife. We got to understand, ship's over. We're done. We were done. And that was it. And that was the end of that. No discussion, no fight. And I mean, it was the best decision not only that she made for herself, but James is Jill. How about that? Yeah. James is Jill.
James is tits. Let me see him.
Let me see your tits.
Wait. Oh yeah, no.
He said to you, "Let me see your tits."
There's another.
Jill, let me see him.
There's another woman's name tattooed on there, but yeah, and
hold on, you can't skip over that. Hold on, what? You have your wife's
He's like a chola. No,
nobody's tattooed on my tits.
Oh, I was like, that'd be funny. It was like, yeah, I'm totally in love with this girl, but I got like my high school girlfriend's name salon. I never removed it.
So James, so now you go ahead and explain the rest of. Did I explain that accurately?
Yes, except the band's just on hold.
Yes, the band's on hold. Like he just shut the lockdown down. We had already recorded our album, remember, during the summer. Yeah. And so and now the album is getting mixed. The album's about to come out, but he had to stop everything in order to support his wife's dreams. There was no question about it. There was no way to do anything else. I mean, if you would have seen the lockout, Frank, we literally had a full-on Guitar Center in there to ourselves with everything set up like a house of just like we can just come in. It was plush. It was awesome. And that all ended in one day. It was over.
Have you had to explain to your friends? Like when you try to explain to your friends, have you gotten like some backlash from your friends? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
I don't need to explain shit. Like, and he didn't either. Like, we didn't have to.
Saying, James, you have to, like, your other friends have to like, yeah, that's what we're doing. And they were like, what the hell? Do you have those friends?
As those friends, but I'm so ignorantly confident in myself when I take on a new endeavor that I never really understand the scope. I think if I were to take a step back and see how big a project was going to be or understand the scope, I wouldn't tackle it. Right. So it's in my benefit to not know how hard something's going to be. And I charge at it and, I try to run through the wall. Right. I just go, okay, here's a wall and I'm going to fucking run through it. And this one might be 10 feet thick. It might be 2 inches thick. I don't know. Right. So when she decided she was going to strike out on her own, and it was a very, for her, it was a very emotional decision. The only thing I could do was support her, because she plays it safe. She's very conservative. I will throw money at the stock market and lose it. She will put it in her mattress. Right. And so for her to make a move like that, the only thing I could do, it was either support her or get the hell out of the way, and so now she is in, she won a contest with I shouldn't say contest, but she was chosen by the Directors Guild to push a project through with some serious mentorship on their end. It's like thousands of people submit every year and they choose anywhere from like 6 to 12. And so she was one of the projects that got chosen this year. And she's working on a documentary that's going to highlight the disparity in maternity care for women of color. So it's heavy shit, right? And it's really, really fucking important to her. So she is right now in one of the mentorship sessions, and she's in that, maybe 4 times a week, every single night. So she'll sit down, have a bite of dinner with me and the kid, and then she'll check out. And so it's what she has to do right now, because these sort of opportunities and these sort of dreams, when they start to materialize, like you got to grab them. Otherwise, what the fuck are you doing?
So is she going to be a documentarian? Is that her kind of the way she wants to direct and go is doing documentaries?
Hello?
I lost there for a second.
Oh, did I freeze?
I froze.
Oh,
it's always me. It doesn't matter. It's always me.
That's what she wants to do. She wants to tell those stories, Okay.
That sucks for me because there's no chance for me to do that. There's no way she can hire me. Fuck.
It's not.
Nobody had a director I could get a hold of. Fuck.
Right. It's not our time, Frank. Right.
Man, I was almost there.
But she has she's done the corporate thing, and she's worked, she's worked a lot of high profile positions and made a name for herself in a bunch of different industries. And this is, I'm 42, she's 40. And so at this point in her life, this is what she needs to do. And like I said, the only thing I can do is just keep handing her arrows, go, shoot, go, do it again.
And that's the thing, man. It's tough. It's tough to do that. Like I didn't realize how hard it is to do that until somebody else is doing it for me. And I didn't realize, because you don't realize it's not happening until it starts happening. It's one of those weird things where you're like, it's never happened before, but now it's happening. I'm like, wow, that's a really hard thing to do, but it keeps like, what the hell? Why was I not doing this before? It's like a super difficult thing to have somebody be like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's see what happens. I don't care. Let's run through a 10-foot wall. Well, you don't know if that's 10 foot thick. We know it could be 20 feet thick. Yeah, but it might be 2 inches. I might be able to get through in the first shot. If not, I'll get a bulldozer. I'll get a backhoe. I'll figure some way through this wall. And it's super tough when you're doing it for somebody else. When you're doing it for yourself, it's way easier. It's way easier to do something for yourself. When it's for somebody else, it's like, hold on, I got to really think about this. Nope. I do like Trick and James. We don't think about it.
Yeah.
Just do it. See what happens.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if your mentality in getting your captain's license doesn't already have you in the headspace where you already have the license. You just got to read the book.
Oh, what do you mean? You think that's a decision? Like that was decided like months ago. Like I thought I had my license months ago. Like,
you already have the license. Yeah, exactly.
I already got it.
He's just going through formalities right now.
To me, this is just what the state of California needs for me to do this legally, so I can do the right tax bracket and not get hit later by the government. Like this is all this processing is. Oh yeah, I've already got it. I've already got the license. I'm already good. Like, I have a really stupid mentality in that sense where you can hit me with an idea, and once I think the idea is good, I dig my toes in, put my knuckles down hard, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And I squat and I go, okay, let's just go. And I just start running as hard as I can towards the finish line.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever obstacle's in the way, just get out of my way because I'm gonna hit the finish line and see what the fuck happens. And it's one of those things that has been very successful in part of my life, but very unsuccessful in other parts, because you get the situation with other partners don't understand it. And so like, oh, look, I see you getting success by doing these things. So how can I steal some of that success for me as you're taking off doing these things? And then you realize that like, okay, everybody around you thinks you're really selfish because you're just running towards this goal that they don't understand. And they're keep trying to steal parts of it so they can have part of the benefit. You're like, I don't understand that, until you find a partner that's like, nope, I'm going to quit. I'm going to put the band on hold. And we're going to go and hit this directing thing full bore. And I'm going to go ahead and take care of the kid while you're doing this thing 4 nights a week. I'm going to make this thing happen. And all of a sudden you realize like, wow, my partner really helped me get over this hump, because I had no support. If you were not supporting her, James, if you were not allowing her to do this 4 nights a week, she'd be in a position where she'd be stuck between trying to take care of the kid, take care of you, and take care of her dream. And then what goes away? The dream always falls away, because it's the hardest thing to follow, because it's not right there in front of you, but you and the kid are right there in front of you. The dream is gone. And now all of a sudden you kill the dream, and you don't even realize you're killing it because you're too busy trying to figure out how to get a piece of her dream for your dream. You're like, no. I gave up my band. I put it on hold. My dream is on hold for a second while we pursue this. Let's see how this works out. And who knows? There might be a documentary in your future where she's filming the band. All of a sudden, you're Spinal Tap Part 3.
That'd be fantastic.
Awesome.
Wow, that's an old joke. You really got to understand that joke to be there.
We kind of are Spinal Tap 3.
Yeah, we're gonna blow up the drummer for sure.
Oh. Don't even
blow the drummer.
Don't.
Why is there always a drummer?
Because I'll tell you right now, because it takes a very, very unique person to bang on things, right? And you gotta have something just a little bit broken in your head to be like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to bang things. I want to hit on things. It's always a drummer.
It's like name all the famous drummers.
Name all the famous drummers. Oh, you start with Ringo, you go Neil Peart, you go Tommy Lee.
Ringo. He wasn't even the best drummer in the band.
Tommy Lee.
Well, not best drummer, a famous drummer.
Well, yeah. Point taken. I just say famous, but it's like when you talk to most people, they're like, I can't really name a drummer. Like really, like who? Rush. Who was that?
Neil Peart.
And who was the other one from Def Leppard? Lost his arm in a car accident.
Oh,
the guy who lost his arm in the car accident.
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
We all know, but he's the one-arm drummer. He came back and he's still
the one-arm drummer.
And then who's the other? Who's the most famous drummer?
Tommy Lee. Yeah, and that's circumference.
Like, anybody says he's a drummer, they all go, "Oh, it's just Tommy Lee." But he's the only drummer anybody can really remember. You're like,
yeah.
What the hell is wrong with us? Like the drummers are like the one guy that people remember the bass player more than they remember the drummer. But the drummer technically puts the beat for everybody. So without the drummer, you don't really have no beat line. You have to have a drummer. Acoustic is great, right? Acoustic is amazing. You put 3 guys up there doing acoustic, all of a sudden you're like, you kind of got to have a drummer back there because I'm kind of losing this.
Yeah.
I'm kind of losing where you're going with it. The drummers are super important, but they always get the least amount of love. But now it makes sense because I didn't realize how offset they have to be able to bang on shit like that.
They're fucking crazy, man.
Okay, that's why no one really wants to move the drummer because they're a little fucking crazy.
Our drummer's pretty amazing. I'll give her that.
Great drummer.
She's a great drummer. Like, didn't she go to Berkeley?
She went to Berkeley.
Yeah. And she's got a great ear. Very, very talented girl.
You want to know the only drummer that I can ever remember? Sheena Easton. That's it.
Sheena Easton. Yes.
And it's because of Prince. That's the only reason I can remember. It's because of Prince. That's honestly.
And Sheila E.
I'm sorry, I said Sheila Easton, but I meant Sheila E. I apologize. That's Sheila the only one I can remember is Sheila E. because she's the one in that Prince video. And I was like, oh, it's a female drummer. Oh, she's kind of cute. I'm young, hitting puberty. I don't fucking know. I'm like, oh, this is well, let's go. I'm like, they're drummers. But then I looked and realized that all drummers are old, ugly white dudes. Like, okay, never mind. I guess I'm not into drummers anymore.
Sheila E. I think Sheila E. just put out a masterclass on Masterclass.
She did, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a client. I'm a member. So
Me too. I'm a member on Masterclass.
They have there's a lot of good stuff on there. There's a lot of shit you can learn. They don't have everything that I want. I want more of different stuff, but they do a pretty good job, and it's actually pretty good. And the information is kind of like I equate it to the Michael Jordan syndrome, where no one did a fadeaway jumper before Michael Jordan did. And then you see him trying to teach people how to do it. He's like, oh, you just do it like this. It's just like this. You're like, no. I need you to explain to me how you do it. It's just like this. That's fadeaway jumper. That's what you're like, no, explain it to me. Then people started watching it, and now everyone does a fadeaway jumper. But what happened is that Michael had taken the 300 ways not to do it, figured it out, and then found the one way to do it, and now everybody else can do it. You go to Masterclass, they cut all the bullshit out of the way. And that's what I like about it. They cut everything out of the way and they give you, this is what works. This is the reality of what works. Now you have to find within this module your own space. Like it's not, all of it's not going to work for you. And the 3 of us could take the same master class and we won't get the same things out of it. We'll all figure out different things in the same class, but they get rid of the bullshit. And that's the problem with a lot of these courses and classes and stuff we get online. It's 45 minutes of bullshit and 5 minutes of something that's actually usable. But the problem is that 45 minutes of bullshit is a different 45 minutes for you. It's a different 45 minutes for you. It's a different 45 minutes for you. So all of a sudden it's a 50-minute class, but nothing comes out of it except for the 5 minutes we actually want to learn from. And I really like Masterclass because there's no bullshit in there. It's all straight. This is what works. This is what we're looking for. This is how it functions. This is how you do your, I'm obviously in the acting stuff. So it's like, this is how you do the acting. And now I'm starting to get into cooking stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, like why did I even think about doing it with the other stuff? Just brown sugar. That's all I needed was brown sugar. Shit. And so I watched a 50-minute class to learn about brown sugar.
Brown sugar. You need to get Frank, you need to get a smoker.
So I want to, but my porch, is small for a smoker because I have too much equipment out there. And then once I get the boat, I thought about putting a smoker on there. But the problem is that once it heats up, you have to let it cool down for 3 hours before you can store it away again. And it can only be used when you're at the dock because it can't be rocked out. But then when you're at the dock, you can put it on the dock, cook it. So you can have a smoker. But the problem is too is that have you been around marinas much, either one of you?
A little bit.
Okay, so you understand liveaboard, right? Where people live aboard the boat.
Yeah.
So the problem is with liveaboards, I'm learning down here, not so much by me. Like my dock master has done a great job of kicking everybody out. That's a scumbag. But a lot of these docks around here, it's basically a trailer park.
What do you mean? Really? Tell me about this.
So it's literally, so we got a new dock master here, and we didn't really have a dock master beforehand, or not somebody understood how to be a dock master. The guy now, Doug, he built the docks like 20 years ago when he came in to build these docks. He was the guy that engineered the building because that's what he did. He's a dock engineer. His family's been building boats in the East Coast in Martha's Vineyards for centuries. They're boat builders, is what they do. He moved out, his portion of the family moved out to California, did the exact same thing. So he's been doing this his entire life. He understands it. He finally gets hired. He comes in. He's like, we had one boat that was an illegal drug den. We had one boat that they were like, the cops got called multiple times for domestic abuse. The woman was beating the guy up and throwing him overboard, like this whole freaking mess.
Really?
We had one girl walk out. She came through and took a knife and cut the lines that hold the boat to the dock, which is it's a federal offense. That's not a state offense. That's a federal offense. You cut somebody's boat lines, that's federal.
Really?
It is extremely illegal. That's like stealing a boat and trying to take it to international waters. You cannot do that shit. They fucking like all sorts of shit was going on down there. People were lighting other people's boats on fire.
Keep going. What else?
Going in, trying to take like sledgehammers and bang holes in the bottom of the boat to sink the boats. A guy had his boat got sunk out here, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I have insurance. I got this. I got that." The boat got sunk, and he went out and had to freaking go. He had to go because when a boat goes down, the sheriff has to come in, and you got to put a big boom around it to keep the oil and gas from leaking into the water and get it all sucked up. So you got the boom around. He went to go tell the guy, "Hey, you get this boat out of here. Call your insurance company." He's like, and the guy just obviously wouldn't take any phone calls. "I no insurance on a boat. You're supposed to have insurance on a boat. You have to." He had no insurance on the boat. The boat sank. They're like, "Okay, we're going to take it out. We're just going to charge you. We're just going to charge you for us having to move the boat." Sheriff's had to come in, take the boat out. All of a sudden, they found out that he's got like 4 warrants. So they had to go hunt the guy down to go take him out. Like, it's a mess. These things are like, it's legit like a trailer park.
How long ago was this happening? Like this was happening over the years, all these years?
4.5 months ago, all this was going down.
Really?
Cleaned up. Yeah. But this is common in all the marinas, not just my marina. It's common everywhere. Yeah.
So it's like the trailer park. It's like the trailer park kind of. We kind of lost James for a second. I think
back.
he'll be coming. There you are.
I'm
back.
Yeah, tired of
Sorry.
He's like, all these horrible stories. I can't take it. I'm like, and go on.
Tell me more.
And tell me more.
There was a couple porn stars. There's a couple porn stars down there. A couple prostitutes were living over there.
Prostitutes. So they were having Johns come over on the boat?
No. So they did it first, but then the other people living on board got tired of the traffic. So now they have to go to a hotel or do whatever. But it's like, it's a mess. And you get in there and there are people in there that'll squat. Like, so if you own a boat, would you take it out? Like, if that was your thing, if you own a boat, if you had enough passion to go spend money on a boat, whatever that money was,
you would take it out. You would go drive around in the water.
There's 9 boats. I've lived in this place for 2.5 years. There are 9 boats out of my window that have never moved, and there's never been anybody on them. Never.
What?
So people know that, and what they do is they squat and they come in and break onto these boats and they live on them. Because once you have a power cord and the water connected, it's free water, free power. It's part of your slip fee, is you pay for the water and the electric. So they get in there and they plug everything in. They squat on these boats. We've had cops go in there and be like, there'll be like a lien. So like the owner of the boat stops paying the slip fee. And after a certain amount of time, they go put a lien on the boat because you owe the money for the slip fee. It's like, not paying your car payment. They come take the car. You kind of repo the car, but here they put a lien on it. And if you don't pay the lien, they take the boat. That's just part of the deal that you have with putting your boat in the slip. Well, you'll go on and be like, hey, we assume you're the owner because you're on the boat. You find this person squatting. There's some convicted convict that have escaped from like Texas. He's over here living on a boat. They had to go take him off. Like the sheriffs had to go in and swim like squat. They let the guy off the boat because he wouldn't leave. You're like, what the hell? You go down and find he's a meth head. He's got freaking drugs everywhere. You're like, what the living hell? Like, it's crazy. And then the owner's like, oh, I'm sorry. I joined the military. I was overseas. And I got divorced when I was overseas. I didn't realize the wife wasn't paying the bill. Let me come back and pay this bill. And they go to look at their boat. Like, what the fuck happened to my boat? Well, you had a squatter. And the squatter, he's like, I don't want the boat now. Like, it's going to cost me 20 grand to fix the boat. I owe you 2 grand. You just keep the boat. You sell it.
So who keeps the boat? The dock master?
The dock. Yeah, the people that own the ship.
So they've got boats for sale, is what you're saying?
Oh, they have a lot, yeah. There's like there's 3 boats for sale out in front of me right now, and every if you talk to every dockmaster around in Marina del Rey, they'll have at least 1 or 2 boats in their slips that are up for sale because they got liens on them, and you have to go in, you got to pay the lien off, and they have these lien sales. So you go in and it's like a public auction, and you go and you bid for the boat, and the highest bidder gets the boat. And you're like, okay, and sometimes you show up and you're the only one. There's nobody else there.
No.
You're the only one that showed up. Like, no one else wants this thing. Like, what the hell? And you go in and you're like, okay, I'll pay you $500. You're like, okay, we'll take $500. The guy owes us $6,000, but we'll take the $500, and we'll let you dock it here if you pay us 6 months up front for the slips. You're like, well, how much does slip cost? $400. Here you go. Here's a year. Boom, I'm good. Fucking got it. Now you fix the boat up. Like, it's like shit like that goes on all the time. If you're willing to look.
Jimmy James, let's go be boat owners.
There's a boat in front of me right now that's up for sale for like $1,500.
How big is the boat? Like, is it a big?
These things are little. We're like a ton of like 28 feet, 35 feet. These are short. These are small boats.
No, you know what?
Showers, no galleys. Like these are day. They call them day cruisers. You take a cooler with all your shit on it. You cruise on it for the day. You come back, you take your cooler off, and throw your trash off, and go about your business. Like they're not great boats. Like you want a great boat. You want a nice boat. 500 grand. That's what it is. I mean,
that's a mega yacht. That's what you're getting.
No, these are even mega yachts. These are like 50-foot sailboats. You know, with three suites and a captain's quarters, full galley, full dinner. Like those are 500,000. Good ones. A lot of electric on them. You want a really nice one, $1 million. You know, you want to get into mega yachts, 15 million, 10 million. Yeah.
So that's what you're training to get, is a mega yacht.
I'm trying to get to a mega yacht. With I saw a mega yacht the other day that I really wanted. I really, really wanted this boat. It's a catamaran. It's super nice. It's 65 feet. It's got all the
catamaran.
I'm like, oh, I want this fucking boat. It's $17 million. You know.
Only? That's it?
17 million used.
Used.
Oh, yeah, let me go get that tomorrow. I'll go pay cash for that one. Like, fuck, man. Those things are. You can get some boats. You get some of these like the Fertittas. Talking about the UFC, the Fertittas, they own mega yachts. Like they're fucking billionaires. Of course, they have mega yachts. 100 million, 115 million for these mega yachts.
Oh my god.
Yeah, sleeps like 14, 15 people comfortably plus 6 crew.
Don't they need a captain? Wow. I'm sure they need a captain and a chef.
Everybody needs a captain. Those guys don't. You move the boat. They land and move the boat to Greece. They land in Athens. They fly to Athens and get on the boat at Athens. And we had to move the boat from here to Athens. Like that's the game. You know, that's how it goes.
That's the game. That doesn't suck. You get a free cruise. You just got
a month at sea.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. That's
Stay away from Africa. Stay away from the Horn of Africa. You'll be fine.
See, this
I'm
gives me.
I'm not being racist for everybody on Facebook. I'm not being racist.
No, he's not.
The Horn of Africa is where all the pirates are. So you want to stay away from the Horn of Africa. Even the Navy SEALs will tell you stay away from the fucking Horn of Africa because the pirates will come out and attack your boat. So you stay away from Africa. That's what
Those are the Somali pirates, right? That come, and because you're in a certain area of water, it's like there's no governing area there. So they will take over the boat. They'll like totally
kidnap you, take the boat, and sell you off for ransom. HOA. Stay away from the HOA, the Horn of Africa. Stay away from it.
Really?
Like you literally, like if you buy a boat in Greece, you don't come down Africa to come through the Panama and then cut across to come through the Panama Canal. You cut across to Puerto Rico, and then cut around the Horn of Florida to go down to the Panama Canal and come to LA. You will not go by Africa. It's not safe. It's not safe. Just not. And that's even if you got a bunch of military personnel on your boat. It's not safe.
Do they teach you that in the book?
No, that's for me knowing military personnel and talking to Navy SEALs and talking to guys who are out there and other guys that have gone that route and had to like. So you remember? Do you guys remember this? Like maybe 9 years ago, when they had all those tankers were getting attacked by the Somali pirates. They're using the water to blast them off, and all of a sudden it wasn't working. So
I am the captain now.
Snipers on there. Well, one of those guys, one of those Navy snipers, now works on SEAL team as a stunt double. And I talked to him. He's like, "Oh yeah, stay away from the Horn of Africa. It's still not any good." And you got to have a sniper on board because he has to shoot the pirates before they get close enough to hit you with their AKs. So you got to have a sniper that's good enough to shoot while the ship is moving, while their boat is moving at a different angle as they're coming at you, and be able to hit them from 500 yards away before they get within range of the AKs, because they all carry AKs. So you got to shoot them from that. So you got to have guys that good. That is an impossible shot. These guys are head shooting them. Tom Hanks did one of the movies. Was it Captain? What the hell is that movie? That one guy, super famous Somalian guy, who played the pirate, played the Somalian pirate on it. It's a true story. I forget the hell. Captain Phillips. And it's a great movie if you get a chance to see it. But it's about being taken over, and he gets kidnapped, and they finally snipe him through the window at the. I'm sorry, giving away a spoiler. But
I'm gonna write it down, Captain Phillips.
But it's really about being down there, and it's fucking dangerous. It is super dangerous down that way. Never go that way. You stay away from it like the plague. Stay away from it. You'd rather be in open seas than be by the horn. Like you go to Puerto Rico, especially if you're an American citizen, and you're getting someone from Europe and you're trying to go back across. Go to Puerto Rico because it's American territory. And you're able to get your stuff. Oh shit, I forgot. So talk about Guam.
Oh yeah, Guam. I'm so glad you brought that up.
We're in Hawaii. And after the story, I gotta get off because I gotta get up early at 5 a.m. I got some other shit I gotta do.
Tell us about Guam.
So we're in Hawaii, and my wife's friend Steph is like, yeah, my husband is in the military. He's in Afghanistan right now. He's a huge fight fan. So when they get their time to call home, she sometimes is at work and she has to step away from the floor because the only time she gets to talk to him is she gets that short window because he's a legit badass fucking military guy and super maneuvers, shooting people. Like he's a legit badass. So he gets the time off and she's like, Frank Trigg? And he's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, I know Frank Trigg. He's like, he's right here. So I talked to him a little bit, whatever, blah, blah. Come to find out they're from Guam. I go, wow, that's pretty fucking cool. I love the fact that your husband's trying to get his citizenship by joining the U.S. military. She looks at me kind of cockeyed. I'm like, yeah, because you guys are from Guam. You got, we got to get your citizenship so you guys can stay here. I'm like, you here on a work visa because you guys are married and because he's in the military, you guys can stay here? And she's looking at me like I'm a fucking idiot. I'm like, why are you looking at me like an idiot? You understand, Guam is an American territory, right? I'm like, I was 10 years old when I found that out. I had no clue. Man, I felt like a complete fucking scumbag. I went home, I read up everything I could on Guam. I want to know all about it. I'm like, I had no idea. To be honest, I had no idea that American Somalia is an American territory too. I thought it was just called American Somalia. It's a territory of ours. I'm like, no wonder. So if you talk to anybody in Europe, they know. You talk to anybody from England, they know every single Commonwealth, the leader of the Commonwealth country, how it became a Commonwealth, the reason why we took it over. Like they know everything about it. They know why Canada, they know why New Zealand, they understand why Australia, they know everything. They even understand why there's a Union Jack on the Hawaiian state flag. And they belong in Europe because Hawaii originally was going to be they wanted to be with England, not with the US. They want to be part of England, which is why the Hawaiian flag has a Union Jack in the corner where the stars go, because they want to be part of England. That was their way to say, because we didn't get given Hawaii, we took Hawaii. We went over there and sent our navy over and told the Queen, either comply and allow us to take over your islands, or we're going to fucking kill everybody. And the Queen is like, we don't have the military power to back off or to back you off, so we have to accept it. That's how they became a territory and then became a state. Hawaii was taken. It was not given. And if you live in Hawaii, you learn this real quick, because there's a bunch of people like Hawaii is still a taken, occupied country. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to keep Hawaii separate. And if you live in Hawaii for a while, you realize that Hawaii is a separate country. It really is a separate country out there, 100%. There's no way around it. Yes, it's American dollars. Yes, American passports. It's a separate fucking country, because the mentality is, it's a fighter's mentality. That's why like Max Holloway and Yancy Maduro and Lima Lane McFarland are such good fighters, because it's a fighting culture over there, because they were taken by force. And it was not allowed. They didn't want it to happen. It was forced on them. And the whole reason why they did is because a bunch of white people wanted to buy fucking sugar. They wanted sugar. That's the whole reason. They wanted fucking sugar. And sugar was being grown. Sugar cane was being grown in Hawaii. And they wanted sugar. And they took it, and they fucking took the prince and moved him to San Francisco, and he was never allowed to come back to Hawaii ever again. And he died in San Francisco. They took him out of his palace and moved him to San Francisco. We take over shit and we control it, and that's what we do. That's what America does. And we did the same thing with Guam, except during occupations. They got occupied by the Spanish. They got occupied by the Japanese. They've been occupied by a bunch of different cultures, but because we went in there and took it over, we gave them stability, which is why they're able. But every time, like Puerto Rico went through the hurricane, how much help did we give them? Squat. Nothing. Wow, when they had that fucking tsunami went through this is years ago, how much help did we give them? Squat. We're a territory. Why aren't you helping them? It's over there. It's over there. We'll deal with it later. 4 years. Like, give us. We'll get there eventually. They've only got 25,000 people. Does it really matter? Yes, but you need it because you have military there. If you don't keep the military bases up, we fall apart. So that's why you got to help out. It's a fucking mess. But I didn't know that. I didn't know American Samoa and Guam were American territories. I was like, what the hell did they teach me in school? Nothing. Fucking nothing. I learned nothing in school. Nothing at all. Because if I don't even know what we belong, what belongs to us, like how we as part of our American citizenship, I can't even tell that. Man, we got to figure this out. This is a bad deal. And how close is Guam to Korea? I mean, every time there's a missile trial in Korea, it's going to Guam. We're going to hit America. Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to hit America. They're not talking about the mainland. They're talking about Guam. They're going to hit Guam. So every time one of those freaking missiles goes off, everyone gets nervous in Guam for a reason because they're aiming at them. They're not aiming over here. It's not getting this far. And we don't care. And they know that we don't care. Well, not we, but the government doesn't care. It goes, whatever. We'll deal with it later. It's fucking amazing how much shit goes on in the Pacific that we don't know anything about.
Oh my God, Frank. I love talking to you. You're so amazing. All this knowledge. Huh, Jimmy James? Like, this is just so great. Like, it's
not just a fancy beard.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not just a fancy beard. Frank, I want to thank you so much for your time. I mean, everything that you've talked about, and especially just hearing about you and Jill. I mean, I really, I'm glad we talked UFC and reffing, but I'm really glad we talked about your relationship. It lets me know that I'm on the right path of staying single. Jimmy James just brought this up a few shows ago. He's actually asked me if I want to be set up on a blind date. And so
yes, for show purposes, yes.
Yeah, for ratings.
Do it. No, do it because you. So here's what I'm gonna tell you. Do it, but walk in with this understanding. Already know what you want the relationship to look like. Already know what you want to do with your life, and lay it on the table. On the blind date, you lay it on the table. This is what I expect from my partner. This is where my life is going. This is what I want to do with myself. This is where I see myself going. This is my hopes and my dreams. Tell me what yours are. And they're going to sit there with their jaw on their fucking chest and be like, I want in and out. And I want to fucking, like, that's all you got? Well, this is not going to work. You better hit me with some more. Wow. And tell them, like, I want you to wow me with your intelligence so you can get in my panties, and then tell them everything that you want to know, how you want the relationship to deal, and tell them everything. Just be open about how you want shit to go. And if they can't fucking handle it, it's over. But the conversation on the show after that blind date will be amazing. I mean, he was so fucking hot, and his lips were so delicious, and I felt out with him. Oh my God, his dick was so big, and he like a caveman. It was amazing. He pulled my hair and slapped my ass, and it was incredible. So you can see him again? Nope. He has no hope, he has no dreams. I'm out. I'm like, okay, that's it. Blind date. That's how it goes. Like that's it. Lay it out for him.
I think
every new date now going on, you need to do that. Every single date, you got to lay it out for them and put them to the test. If they can't handle you like that, like you being open and honest, they can't handle it. What the fuck you want to be with that person for anyway?
Yeah,
you can't handle me being honest. Yeah, fuck off. I'm out. I'm going to somebody out.
When I'm ready, I think I'm gonna throw this over to you. I think you may know a few eligible bachellors that you can throw my way.
I got a lot of eligible bachelors, but all of them are fucking assholes. But they got money. They'll take you out for a nice place, but they're douches. Like fucking.
Oh yeah, then that's not what I'm looking for. Money does not. I've learned money does not make me happy at all. No matter how much money you throw at me,
money is great.
It is.
But it's great when you're like, oh, let's buy another mansion, let's buy another thing. But you got to be with the right person. Otherwise, money doesn't matter, man. I mean,
no, it doesn't.
I mean, Jill and I have been broke, and Jill and I have had a shit ton of money, and Jill and I, we're all struggling right now. Everybody's struggling. Mm-hmm. No one's got work. Like, we're all fucking on unemployment. We're all trying to, well, she's working because she's at Lululemon. So, but the rest of us are all trying to survive, and she's doing great, right? Mm-hmm. But now since she's the breadwinner, I'm not the breadwinner anymore. You understand what that kind of role reversal is from the psyche standpoint for me? Like, I'm the guy that pays the bills. All of a sudden now, can you pay this bill? You got any money in your account to pay? Because I don't have it. Can you pay it? All of a sudden I got to start asking her for money. Like, that's not our game, but you got to flip it. You got to switch it out. Mm-hmm. It's a partnership. You got to figure it out.
Well, the beauty is that you guys have a plan. I have no doubt in my mind you're going to be a captain. And when you guys are ready to break it in, please allow me to come on, because you're going to give me my dream of being on a mega yacht without me having to sleep with an old, ugly, fat, balding white guy. So
That's awesome. Yes.
Tell Jill I said it will work for sous chef, you know?
Nice. Yes. She might take you up on that.
No, tell her I'm a great sous chef. I know how to say, yes, chef. And I wear gloves.
All I'm going to do is a sous chef. When I say, yes, chef, and like, okay, I'm going to do it my way anyway. You got to cook those skills. Okay, yes, chef. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Well, Frank, I definitely want to bring you back on in the future. You have been one of the most amazing guests that we've had on the show.
But next time, James has to wear sleeves. That's my only requirement.
Oh, man.
Oh, pants. You have to wear pants. Just sleeves.
Well, hopefully we can get together during this quarantine time, some type of picnicking or some type of social distancing thing of some sort, exchange foods and what's not. So we will stay in touch.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me.
Good to meet you, Frank.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for watching Talking Crap with Tania Estrada. I'm your host with my host, James Callaghan. And we